Join discord.gg/flat earth and enter a VC check-in room, and someone will come along to VC verify you to get involved with the conversation about our Earth.
Tehconda and maybe his friends.
Are these pictures in the chat somewhere?
I'll add one right now.
Cool.
Yeah, Dark, see, you gotta understand that it's about the distance of the horizon.
Right.
Yeah, we're not saying, hey, those oil rigs would be blocked, necessarily. I mean, they would be to an extent, but it's not about that as much as it's about the distance of the horizon itself.
Sure, and who took the pictures?
His name is BMLSB. Well, I guess that's probably not the name on his driver's license, but that's the name I know him by. I'll post the original video.
So on the globe Earth, on a hypothetical globe model, the horizon should be much closer than what it is.
Yes.
Measured.
Yes.
For this one, since he was only 1 foot off the ground, it should only be 1.225 miles away. If you're standing up and you're about 6 foot tall, it should be about 3.5 miles away on a globe.
And how many miles is the horizon?
Further than 9.4.
So we don't live on a globe, the reported globe.
Nah.
No, unless they're just joking around about the size, and that's a big joke because rockets would crash. Which they do crash. That's the funny thing. Everybody thinks they don't.
I'd like to see the video first, but the explanation they would usually give for something like that is that there's a mirage when you're that close to the surface of the water, and that possibly if he were to raise the camera actually higher to get above the water level, you might actually see the horizon get closer, so you're outside of the range of the mirage.
Well, it would get further the further up you go, and he does. He goes to other elevations.
I need to see the video, though.
Yeah, I posted the original video, and if they say it's miraged, right, what they're really saying is, no, there is a 1.2 mile geometric horizon there, but due to the miraging, right, we're going to see a 10 mile horizon instead. So where's the evidence for the 1.2 mile geometric one?
I don't see where the video's posted. Is it? Is it?
BML is 9.41 mile.
I found it.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
There's this other black swan here that I just posted. What's the height that time? 8 feet. Still too far. Still beyond 10.10 miles. It looks like it's way further than that, but let's just say beyond 10.10. 10.1.
All right, let's see.
So what would the geometric horizon distance be there? It would be 3.46 miles on the globe, given an 8-foot observer height. Still way further.
The one I like about the 8-foot high one is you can see the lights that are underneath the rigs reflecting off the surface of the water in the waves as they just twinkle by.
So
that's true.
How is it that that's not refraction that's bringing the horizon to seem further than what it actually is supposed to be?
Well, how do you have evidence that there's a geometric obstacle or obstruction there that you're not seeing?
I guess I'm just questioning how objectively light works at this point.
Okay, but
it's always confused me.
In this case, though, with the oil markers, which are the distance markers, if you see where the horizon is, if that is the projected 1.2, it can't be the projected 1.2 horizon. because it's behind the oil rig that's 9.4.
I'm having a hard time believing that that oil rig is actually
No,
9
wait,
miles
hold on
away.
a second. Hold on a second. I was addressing the last person's
sorry.
confusion.
Oh.
It's okay. Do you see what I'm saying though? Even if you're wishfully thinking that the 1.2 geometric horizon is projected to the horizon, well, in this case, it's beyond the 9.4. Can't have it both ways.
Well, why can't that happen?
Okay,
Well, that's
so the
something
thing
I
is,
need to
there's no evidence for the geometric 1.2 mile one in the first place, right? They're saying, oh, it is there, you just didn't see it because blah blah, and they give you an explain away, which in this case is refraction, right? So where's the evidence for the globe in the first place, which they're saying is refracted? Because we look out and we don't see it, and then we just get an excuse for why we didn't see it. What about the evidence for its existence in the first place? Why aren't we getting that?
I believe refraction requires the globe radius in order to do calculations for refraction. So you're really stuck there since you need the actual measured radius to do all that, which doesn't measure to any.
That's right.
Yeah, and only since the 3959 has been debunked have people started claiming that everything they see in the distance is an optical illusion. This is a new thing.
Yeah, they didn't used to say that. They used to say, oh, we see boats disappear over it. That's the curved horizon. Then we check the distance of the horizon to see if it actually matches that geometric claim and find, no, it doesn't. It's way further than that. Now they say, oh, you don't actually see the thing that we said for hundreds or thousands of years that boats disappear over.
Yeah, I believe they say like there's different degrees of it depending on the weather.
Oh,
Well,
brother.
listen, there is no evidence for the geometric horizon they say is refracted in the first place. That's what this is showing you. You look out, you don't see it, and instead of getting evidence for it, we just get an excuse.
You can't deny that it's a possibility, though.
Be right
No,
back.
yeah. Well, you must have. Can I try to run by what I ran by you a moment ago? In this black swan observation, the horizon is beyond the 9.4. Okay, it cannot be the 1.2 because that oil rig is out there. Somehow you've abandoned all reasonable thinking to hold on to this globe idea, but just I know you need things to be optical illusions, but in this case, it can't be.
To me, it just seems like you guys have proven that we're able to see that the horizon is much further than what's supposed to be on the globe model. But like, my question still remains: how is it that we can prove if that's not just refraction doing its job?
Oh boy! And what job is that?
Pardon? To lift things up.
How come we weren't taught about this in school when you taught the globe and all the globe lore? How come they didn't say, oh, by the way, you should see things 200 miles away because it's really not there. It's just an illusion. But you can make out every single thing that's there and you can see the people and wave to them. But it's really not there.
I'm just trying to finalize my conclusion on this specific matter, this specific debate.
Okay, well, you've convinced it? I'm just asking a question. Have you convinced yourself that everything you see in the distance is an optical illusion?
I've convinced myself that everything I see may not be what it actually is.
What I'm saying is that's fine, but
Okay.
that's fine. But if what you're saying is true, you can't just teeter-totter and walk the line. You have to accept that everything you see in the distance is an optical illusion. Yes.
So
I can, and I can also like question it and see like what other things I can use to verify the things.
Yeah, you can rationalize and cope however you need, but in this specific example, it's pretty simple. At 1 foot observer's height, the globe it starts curving away at 1.2 miles. That's just the way it is. And if the Earth is a globe, well, we have these distance demarcations. The horizon is beyond the 9.4 miles. So how can that be the 1.2 geometric horizon projected out there? How is that possible? Please riddle me that.
Yeah, but the changed argument is that, well, refraction is able to make you see further than what you actually see.
Wait, okay, so again, see further than what?
Further than what you're actually supposed to.
Okay, so how do you know how far you're supposed to? Based on what?
Exactly, I don't know. It just
Right. So where are they getting that from? Where are they getting that from? How far you're supposed to see? Where did that come from in the first place? Are there any measurements of the Earth which tell us how far we should see geometrically?
I don't think so. Maybe.
No. So it's just a claim. It's just a made-up story. We're seeing as far as we do, and there's no evidence for how far we're supposed to see, quote unquote, according to the globe math. No evidence that should be the case.
There's no repeating experiments, is what you're saying.
What's that, sorry?
Can I chime in for a sec?
What was your question? Sorry, I missed it.
I just have a hard time believing. Oh, sorry.
What was your question?
I was just wondering if, like, you're also implying that there's no repeating experiments that could prove the phenomenon of making something look way much further than what you're actually supposed to see. Because I know for a fact, like, you guys were able to replicate the ships appearing to be blocked by curvature, and that actually is a result of refraction. I've seen the experiments.
It's not a matter of seeing too far. What you're claiming is the geometric horizon is being projected out to this beyond the oil rigs.
Yeah, at least that's what the claim
but
is.
but you have to process that. The oil rigs are there. The oil rigs are there at those distances. So the 1.2, if you wanted to make the case that the 1.2 mile geometric horizon is being projected out, you would have to use an example where those oil rigs are not there, and then you would just be, as you are now, making stuff up. These observations are not cherry picked. I don't know if you've ever gone and tested the actual claims of the globe, but it sounds like you're trying to act like these are special circumstances in which you can see beyond the geometric horizon. They're not.
You would have to cherry.
You would be hard pressed to find the 1.2 geometric horizon anywhere.
Yeah, you would have to cherry pick to show that, and I don't know if it can be done because I've never seen it.
Yeah, you have to find the right foggy day.
Yeah.
I see the ocean and oil rigs.
Tehconda had a question.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if those are actually that far away. I see the video. He does use Google Earth.
Are you hoping they're not?
No, I'm just. They don't look that far away. The camera. No, I think they're closer because they just look too big to be 10 miles away. Oil rigs. They're about.
Watch the full video. That's the zoom in.
Yeah, no, even without zooming in.
Have you watched the whole video?
Yes, like you can see them without them even fully zooming in. 10 miles is pretty far. And
welcome to Flat Earth.
Well, downtown Cleveland for me is 20 miles away, and I can just put my drone up in the air so I can see over the trees, and I can see downtown Cleveland.
Yeah.
How tall are those platforms? Like 1,000 feet, maybe?
I mean, they're 1,000 feet wide, but probably like 600 feet tall. Well, it depends if you count the tip of the crane on.
Well, Tehconda, if you don't like those, you don't have to feign concern. You can just go out and do your own observations.
Yeah,
those are a size of a 60-story building tall.
Oil rigs are 110 feet tall.
They're only 110? They can be a lot taller than that. I'm not sure, though, about these ones.
Sure they're bigger, yeah. But here's the thing. I see that he used Google Earth. I'm looking at Google Maps, and it just... it doesn't look like it's...
Dude, this feigned concern of yours.
Not feigned. I'm talking
There is
seriously.
Chicago also.
let's see.
Yeah, that's farther away. You can see all that too, and the lights. And they're connected to the right buildings, not just lights floating anywhere they want to be, because it's in a mirage. It's actually where they're supposed to be. And you can go to that side of the lake in a boat and drive all the way back to the side where the camera's taken from, and keep that in view the whole time. It doesn't just magically curve around the ball, then become an illusion. It's been done.
But that doesn't look like 50 miles. It looks like a 10 miles.
Okay. How about
For the record, real quick, looks like Godric was right. They're right around 100 feet. I was way off.
What distance would you like to assign them, tehconda?
No,
What would make you comfortable? Since you seem so certain that those distances are wrong, what?
No, I'm not as certain anymore. I'm rechecking the numbers, and
All risk can be 100 feet if you measure them from the bottom of the ocean, but above the water, about 100 feet. I'm sorry,
Right.
maybe 600 feet if you measure below the ocean, but above the ocean about 100, 120 feet.
There you go. Yeah, that makes sense.
No, I see. The closer one's about 6 miles, and the other one's a little bit more than 9 miles. Okay. Yeah. Here's the thing: the one that's 9 miles away is lower than the one.
Well, those are distance demarcations. The point of that observation is what? Do you know what the point of that observation is?
To show that the horizon's further than 9 miles.
Okay, so there you go. So those are distance demarcations.
Can I change the topic just for a second?
No, hold on. Yeah.
Let me ask him.
Hold on.
I'd like everyone to join in and answer my question.
No, hang on a second. Before you change
There's someone lost in vast confusion right now. Patience.
You just said that the further oil rig is lower. Have you seen street lights? Notice that they get lower as they get more distant.
Yeah, just not just that, but the bottom half is actually
bottom or bottom, top, left, right. It's always 9 miles.
Yeah.
Why are you focused on the oil rigs again when we're focused on the line behind the oil rigs? I'm just not sure what focusing on what kind of hat the guy is wearing or what color shoes he has on. It has nothing to do with how far away those oil rigs are.
The color of the oil rig, the material, which was made, the oil rig, which year the oil rig was made. No, it's only distance.
Yeah, in tehconda, if this is the root of your confusion, maybe go enroll in a Drawing 101 course and come back and tell us what you've learned.
All right.
He's hoping that the further oil rig is behind the curve of the Earth. However, the horizon is behind that. So this isn't the horizon, the edge of the curve of the Earth.
Well,
yeah, maybe are you hoping for multiple geometric horizons?
It actually looks like there's multiple lines there, like a bit of a
You've
mirage.
lost the plot. Yeah, you've lost the plot.
I mean, I'm just saying what I see. I'm just telling you what I see. My eyes show 2 lines.
Are you watching the video, not the picture?
I'm looking at the video.
Yeah, if you don't like this observation, make your own.
What is between 2 oil rigs?
You can see the.
What is between 2 oil rigs?
Yeah. Okay.
What is between 2 oil rigs? Can you tell me the answer? Is it the water?
Yes, there's water.
Okay, thank you. That's all. It should not be water there.
And a seal platform or something.
Yeah, so you mentioned the bottom of the platforms being cut off, right?
Oh, the further one. You can see the bottom.
Okay, yeah, by what?
Probably water, but...
The horizon?
Could be.
Well, the horizon's behind it, so how could that be?
Maybe the Earth is much bigger than what the globe Earth.
Well, then if that's the case, then all your latitudes are completely fucked.
Could be.
Your script is broken, tehconda. It's probably best just to be honest here.
Could be that the distance from America to UK, it's not 1,000 miles, that it's 10,000 miles. Could be?
It could be.
Oh, that means if it's flight 4 hours, it could be also 40 hours.
Dude, I've never seen a flat map that's consistent with reality. So
Did you see the flight of 40 hours going 10,000 miles? Do you know what would happen if it's that horizon, if it's that the radius, that what is showing 10 miles? Do you know how big Earth would be?
You would lose gravity. That's what you do.
sure. Well,
You practically could walk to the moon. Like you go out from your house and moon you touch the moon with the hand.
Tehconda, have you seen a map that isn't flat?
a globe. I've got one in my room.
Those aren't maps. Those are
I bet
look
you
at
do.
Freedom Clothes.
a
Those are
map.
decorations.
Nobody use globe for nothing, man.
Is it oblate split? Is it oblate spheroid? Pear shaped.
It's globe shaped.
It's sphere shaped.
Sure.
Sure. So that's a map, huh?
Yeah, it's a round map.
Is it that presentation of reality?
Much closer than a flat map.
Whoa!
Oh, the cope.
Every flat map I've seen is distorted.
How does the military get around that?
Every flat map.
They
Do you
use the
have spherical?
GPS. They use
do you have a
military
spherical-
GPS.
Do you have a spherical map?
It's called a globe.
It's called the globe. Do you know that globe is not used anywhere in the human history? It's used. Map was used.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yes, I knew that.
Or why are you saying globe then?
Because it's a globe.
Because
They
all-
still
all-
have it.
because
They've still made them for
Maybe it's a
hundreds of
globe.
Can
years.
you
It's
only,
more accurate than a
admit
flat map.
one logic? This is only one logic. All maps are flat, and there is no globe map.
Yeah, but all maps, there's different projections of globes
Yeah.
onto 2D maps.
Actually, that's
they're all-
not
they're
right.
all projected
That's not right. Actually, the globe is a flat Earth projection.
onto a 3D map. Sure.
Yeah, because what you have outside is a flat Earth, right? And if you want to represent it as a globe, that would be a flat Earth projection onto a globe.
Yeah, but
Onto
it's
a
still
3D
more
object.
accurate. Okay, well,
How could that be?
Well,
the Earth could be locally flat, but globally round.
That's nonsensical. How many flat slabs make up a sphere?
Infinite.
That's wrong answer.
That's also
How many-
a
how many
concept that was
points?
just made up by Globers, infinity.
Well, okay,
You didn't
so
say it.
wait, so
How many points are there on a circle in infinite?
okay, so this guy thinks that maps are globe projections, so he obviously thinks that there's a globe Earth outside. So who are you aware of that's ever measured that directly?
I mean, no one. I've never met anyone. I've never met a
know
globe
them
maker or
personally.
cartology.
You don't have to know them personally. Just anybody that you're aware of who's ever done it. Or even the method used. That's actually the important part, more so than who.
Well, I could mention pretty much anyone that lives in Australia that has traveled from one coast of Australia to the other could use their odometer to measure the number of miles, and it's not consistent with the flat Earth map. It's
Okay.
way
Oh,
off.
Lord.
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
Lord, yeah, Australia doesn't exist. No, sure.
Listen, this no. Who said that? That
Holy
Australia doesn't
crap.
exist? And which maps
You
you are
just
saying?
Explain Leighton Hewitt.
Can we
You
just try to
didn't
get
say
to those direct measurements, though? Because we're looking for direct measurements of drop over distance showing that we're actually living on a curved object, a ball in this case, right? So driving from one part of Australia to the next doesn't give us that information.
No, but it gives you the width of Australia, and I know it's not wider than the United States.
Okay, that's great, but who has measured drop over distance of the face of the Earth?
Anyone with a theodolite.
Okay,
Incorrect.
give us the method. Can you go into detail at all?
Sure. Get a theodolite, purchase or borrow one, and climb up to a hill and look over water.
He's probably
I'm going to be aiming it at the horizon. Am I going to be aiming it
A
at
tag for theodolite earthers tag.
You level it, and then you measure where the horizon is.
the
And
horizon?
the horizon does not rise up to level.
Make it
doesn't.
rainbow colored too.
Yeah, it doesn't rise up to level. So what? So we're talking
there's
about
a
the
drop.
same horizon that we just looked at, right? that in the case that we just looked at it in was 10 times further than what it would have been geometrically on the globe, that you think that using a theodolite and measuring a dip angle to the horizon gives you the dimensions of.
Mm-hmm.
So we're seeing that it's not geometric. It's 10 times further, right, than it should be if your assumptions about dip angles to the horizon are true, right? So that seems a little bit incoherent, don't you think?
I've never done it myself, so I can't say for sure, but I've seen somebody post a YouTube video on it.
What I'm saying is we're looking at it and demonstrating directly that it is not geometric because it's much further than it would need to be geometric, right? So you're misinterpreting dip angles to the horizon, and you're making a false assumption that it shouldn't dip from your eye level at all if the surface is flat. Because if the dip angle is due to the geometry of the horizon, then it would be at that 1.2 mile distance, right? But it's not.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
The oil rig video does seem to show that the horizon, in optically at least, is further than it should be. So maybe using a theodolite to look at a horizon over water might not yield accurate results. But again, a lot of this depends on the day, the temperature, the humidity, the water temperature, and everything that contributes to optical illusions.
Doesn't matter. There is physical water there. If it's not physical, if it's only optical, I would understand. Then I will say, okay, yes, temperature. But there is a physical water, then doesn't matter.
Yeah, tehconda, prior to this entire flat Earth thing that you've entered yourself into, what would you have told yourself, your past self, before you had to chant that everything in the distance was an optical illusion? What would you say to that person now?
What would I say? Keep an open mind.
That doesn't. What do you mean, keep an open mind?
That did not answer your question.
Yeah. What does it? Let me try to. I know this is. Now you understand the setup. I'll try and ask the question clearly. If you would have asked yourself in the past, if you would have told that person prior to this whole flat Earth thing that seems to have really inconvenienced a lot of people, if you would have said, "Hey, dude, everything you see in the distance is an optical illusion," what would that person, this past you that hadn't gone to full cope mode, what would that person said?
Go seek help.
Yeah, pretty much.
You said, "Yeah, right, dude."
I would give this guy a little bit of credit. I mean, he's been honest enough to concede on the geometric horizon point.
If I didn't think it was worth it, I wouldn't even bother talking to him. I'll try to be nice to him. But I'm just saying, this whole idea that you have to convince yourself now that everything you see in the distance is an optical illusion is wild. It's beyond just keeping an open mind. It's borderline lunacy.
And also think about the fact that we were asking about the line behind the oil rigs and for how long you focused on the size of the oil rigs and what they were doing and how tall they are when they had nothing to do with what we were talking about. Isn't that crazy?
I understand. Look, I've
tried to avoid it. Then he admits it, and then he wants to say, "Yeah, keep an open mind to everything in the distance is an optical illusion." Dude, shake yourself.
Yeah.
Also consider the refraction argument had not come into play until the flat Earth picked up. Nothing about refraction talking about Aristotle, Eratosthenes, or Al-Biruni, or no refraction mentioned.
Refraction only you see forever.
Only when the flat Earth flat back did we have to come up with refraction as a argument.
But listen to this logic. If you see something. If you see something in distance and you see that, and everybody can conclude that also other people see that, and you can measure that what you are seeing somehow somehow I don't understand, but somehow there is some doubt that that is not the truth. That's what it is there, and what you can see and other people can see, but somehow that could not be true.
Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying. I still would be interested to know all the different, temperature, time of day, tide, kind of tide, and all the information.
I would like to ask you why.
Because I would retest it on a different day with a different temperature and see what the change is.
That water, for example, the geometrical horizon, if you understand what that is, that means that water should start to curve. That means that water didn't curve and it's still there, and whatever temperature will be, water will be there. Let's put it like this, let's say that it's dark, that water will be there, even if you don't see. Do you understand me? That's why Earth is flat, because of fucking water. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was done on different days.
It's been repeated. Okay.
It was even done. What was that? Dawn or dusk? One of the two. So midday, dawn or dusk, same result. So what?
Yeah, I know. I get it.
I know I get it. I mean that you said you would like to go. You know what? As a matter of fact, you should. You should go to whatever body of water that you can that's large enough. And you should do this. And you should do it on different days. And this foolishness will be done, at least for you.
And do you know what is interesting? You never get 1.22 miles. Never. In any case. In any temperature, any light, you don't get that result. No, never.
Wouldn't matter anyway once you see it further than that.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, of course, you've talked yourself into thinking everything that you see in front of you is now an illusion.
Well, he has an open mind to that. Hey,
Yep.
Tehconda, can I have like 45 seconds? I'll give you the opportunity to pull yourself out of this refraction chant delusion. Would you like that? Okay. Did you agree when Sasha was talking about water, seeking and finding level? Is that something that you agree with? You've witnessed? You can acknowledge?
Well, now I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Well, have you ever been to a pool?
Yes.
What's the water at the surface doing from end to end?
Level.
Okay, there you go. So I'll be real brief with this. This takes the whole refraction chant out of it. You have something called the Suez Canal. Both ends, at either end, the ports at either end are at about sea level. It's 120 miles long. Okay, there's no locks. So what does that tell you about the water in the canal? Is it the same as the swimming pool?
I mean, it's much bigger.
It's a bigger swimming pool. Okay.
Sure.
So how many of those flat slabs make up a sphere?
Like I said, an infinite number.
No, that doesn't work for that, because we're talking about an object that has a specific circumference.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a Suez Canal, which is 120 miles.
Uh-huh.
So there is a number. It's a simple division problem, but it's a rhetorical question. How many flat slabs make up a sphere?
All right,
it's a trick question. They don't make flat slabs don't create a sphere.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. So does that show you that your refraction chant is nonsensical?
No, I'm still not
because
convinced.
It was removed. Okay, well, think about that. Let that sink in. You're going to have to convince yourself.
And I can help you with that bigger sphere. Let's say it's 100 times bigger. Yeah, then the distance not will be anymore 1.22 miles. It will be bigger. That means, who knows, maybe it will be 10 miles, But that's not the Earth what we are speaking about, because that will be Earth and 100 times bigger. That means you will look for the bigger radius, That means you will look for the 3,950, that radius. No, we are looking for this radius. Why this radius? Because this radius is It's in every educational system, in every school, in every country.
Okay.
I said I'm coming.
Yeah, tehconda. When you said, "Yeah, I'm still not convinced," you're still not convinced of what?
That the Earth is flat.
Well, you're suffering from cognitive dissonance. Let me ask you one more time. You've acknowledged that the Suez Canal is 120 miles of flat water, right?
I don't think it's that flat, but could you see from one end to the other?
What are you saying? How is it? You said it's a big swimming pool.
Sure, but can you see from one end to the other?
What does that have to do with the price of rice?
That tells me whether or not it's flat. I can see from one end of my swimming pool to the other end.
You said it was. You're realizing that you're painting yourself into a corner. I guess you said it's like the swimming pool. It's a big swimming pool. Do not act like water seeking and finding level is a conspiracy. Now listen, 120 miles. If the Earth is what 24,000, almost 25,000 miles in circumference, then that's a simple. The answer would be what. The last time I did, it's like 204, 207 of those flat slabs. You're the one who said, well, it's locally flat, but it's a sphere. Well, that's nonsensical, dude. It wouldn't be a spheroid if it was comprised of faceted sides.
Can I ask
Are you convinced of that?
No, I think it can look pretty flat if you're on the surface of a giant ball.
Let me ask, some questions that, quite honestly, I think you're going to. Let's see. So, the horizon is obstruction, like my chair. I can't see behind my chair because the chair is in the way, right? That's what the horizon is, the obstruction of the globe. Yes?
The horizon's a little different just because it's so much further away.
Look, the horizon is the piece of Earth, is the limitation to the rest of the curving of the sphere. Everyone
That's what it would be, yes.
hasn't been in this conversation. Okay, thank you very much. Geometric, is that Earth measured? Earth distance. That's what that means, right? In this case, in this context. Okay, great. So you have an object, the Earth. It has a distance, right? At least for the formula. So we know that it's out there somewhere, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now let me swap out the object of the Earth, the horizon, anyway, and let me place my house where the horizon isn't. So my house is 1.2 miles away, and there's a hospital behind it. But surface conditions or air conditions somehow make it look like my house is behind the hospital. Does that make sense?
That wouldn't make sense.
Right. I know it wouldn't. But that's your argument. All I did was change the variables.
Uh-huh. You can get some really weird stuff with Mirage. I'm just saying.
Mirage is like a derivative of the word mirror.
Yes, and you can get upside down reflections. You can make boats look like they're floating.
But reflections require a flat surface. Like that's why you can see two images.
I disagree. You can have a reflection off a round surface.
Hold on.
Sure.
Do we have to Google this and Google images?
You can,
because I know for a fact that a mirage is because of a flat surface. Because guess what? If we were talking about the sort of mirage you're talking about, then that would just lift an image from beyond the horizon. That's what you believe is happening. But an actual mirage is two things. The real thing that you see and then an image of it, inverted sometimes, or sometimes there's compression, yada, yada, yada. That means you're looking at both things. Both things are in your line of sight. There's no curvature there. You know what a specular reflection is?
Yeah.
Right. So you can imagine the salt flats, by the way. There are a lot of plains and flat surfaces with not zero runoff, but very little runoff. Runoff being, you have an uneven floor, you pour water and it rolls. But very little of that over these surfaces. Now, these surfaces are vast, okay? And you can see the reflection of the background off of a salt flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if the angle to your eye, right? If the ground that is being reflected is reflecting light to you was curved, it wouldn't reflect light to you, and you wouldn't be able to see the image.
It would still reflect, but it would be distorted. I can grant you that much, but again,
not distorted. Like for instance, if I took a piece of paper and I bent it, and I put a light on the other side of me at a certain angle,
yes,
guess what? That
angle.
light would be intercepted by the hump.
I know what you're saying, but a piece of paper, if it's curved, if you curve the radius of the paper to the same radius of curvature of the Earth, it's going to look pretty flat. The Earth is very, very big.
No, it's not pretty flat. It's actually 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's actually very small.
Depending on whatever scale you're doing. But like, if you literally were to take a piece of paper and curve it to the same radius of curvature that the Earth is curved, you basically have a flat piece of paper.
Yeah. You can do calculations as to what angle a light would not reach your eye. It most definitely would be visible, noticeable. It's not. Okay. But you're just believing it is, but you're not giving me anything. Meaning, like, you're saying these things, I know they're wrong, but you don't have enough knowledge to really refute what I'm saying. You just believe it.
Can I post a quick video? Like, it's a very short, just a picture. It's a video of the moon.
Oh, brother! Now he goes to the sky. Hold on.
No, it deals with what's the moon about.
As a matter of fact, what's the moon or refraction have to do with the geometry of the Earth?
It deals with the horizon.
Oh, brother!
What's it to do with the geometry of the Earth? A little less ambiguous answer, please. What does it have to do with the geometry of the Earth? Without begging the question.
Well, if you watch the video, you can see exactly.
You've seen the video. Can't you just describe it? Tell me what it has to do with it, so that I know it's not a complete waste of time.
It shows a couple things. It shows the moon setting over a body of water. It shows a bit of a mirage on the horizon. You see, as the moon crosses into the horizon, it squishes. It noticeably squishes as it approaches the mirage.
Okay.
And you start to see reflection of it with a gap.
Okay. Now, isn't the point in contention whether or not the horizon is the curvature of the Earth in the first place? That's the point in contention, right? So are you going to beg the question and say that what you're seeing, as a matter of fact, is affirming the consequent fallacy? If P, then Q, Q, therefore P.
It seems like it conforms with the round Earth model, and
what I'm saying is, if P, then Q, Q, therefore P. That's a form of illogic. So basically, again, changing variables P. If the Earth is a sphere, then we would see the moon doing whatever it's doing near the horizon. We see the moon doing whatever it's doing near the horizon. Therefore, the Earth is a sphere. Same form, but it's bad form.
May I ask him a question real quick about his literal giant paper ball?
Well, what does he think about using a logical fallacy to try to prove that it's a globe?
And he's okay with it.
No,
are you okay with it? I mean, maybe this is a hard conversation. Like, I'll give you respect for the concessions I did here, because it seems like you're trying to think it through. It's just hard. Like, I totally get it. I speak to friends every day, and it's hard to envision. but they know that I'm not stupid. And the more that I show them, because I have to take them outside to do observations, the more they kind of accept that it is what it is.
Please let me ask him about his paper ball. Okay, so you have this paper ball that is the size of Earth, right? Okay, so in theory, if you sent your friend walking away from you, eventually he would show up and tap you on your back shoulder and say, "Hey, I made it back." Correct?
In theory, correct, yes.
Okay, so as he began his travel and departed towards, towards reaching you on the other side eventually, would he eventually disappear from your sight?
Correct, yes.
Okay, would there be a point where, based on the configuration of this giant paper ball, that it would be impossible to see him because he would be beyond a point beyond the curve?
Yes.
At what point, when would that occur?
That is apparently hard to tell. If I'm to take the oil rig video as true, and I'm not doubting the oil rig video.
You have to take the 3959 ball as true. We're talking about your paper ball.
Yes, on the paper ball, you could try to calculate the distance to the horizon, but how would you calculate the distance?
So there would be a distance that you could no longer see that person, and it would be a very specific distance.
You could make a predicted distance. Yes, you could say based on the radius of curvature that the horizon should be such and such distance. Now,
okay, so what were you going to say about the black swan?
Oh, the video?
The oil rigs.
The oil rigs. Yes, it seems to be evidence that the optical horizon is further than what is predicted.
Well, that is what the horizon that's what the horizon is.
Correct.
Well, on a sphere, if the Earth were a sphere, it would be bound by its geometric parameters.
Yes.
Okay, well then, it's not here in reality. On your paper ball, he would have to disappear where he disappeared. I guess your paper ball would probably have refraction too, would it?
I don't know what the refractive properties would be on a paper ball.
Giant paper ball.
It's not water, so it might be a little different.
I bet it would be as far as you needed it to see.
We do have an
my point is, if you're holding a basketball and there's an ant crawling on the basketball away from you, it's going to crawl away from you and disappear. Well, these long distance observations are debunking the claim 3959 spheroid. They're showing that's not occurring, and you're left with having to have an open mind to everything being an optical illusion. That's what you're left with.
Yes, that's correct. But how would you?
That's nonsensical.
You would have no hard proof about the calculations, because again, calculations are based on measurements.
Right. Calculations are based on measurements, but what measurements and what calculations do you have on your flat Earth model that would predict the distance of the horizon? How far do you think the horizon is?
There's no prediction for us. The horizon is an apparent thing. There's no physical distance. We don't have that claim. You do. Secondly, if you looked up the Rayleigh criterion, you would know that the resolvable limit between two objects, that would be like maybe a boat and the surface of the water.
And so as the boat gets further away, it gets small enough that you can't see it anymore?
Not just the boat, but it's like it. Okay, think about it like this: you have a brick, right? The brick is on the ground. You can see it in your mind.
Yeah.
Okay, you push the brick out a mile. Can you see the brick without any optical equipment?
Probably not. A mile's pretty far.
Right. But if I built a tower on top of that, you could see the tower, but not the first row of bricks. Still, that doesn't mean that there's any curvature, right? That just means you couldn't see it.
A tower 1 brick wide?
No, not. Hold on. Give me 5 seconds.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, okay. I get it.
Yep. So now you know the problem with the whole refraction thing. You know about from the observations people have seen from Michigan to Chicago, right?
I've heard of that. Again,
50 miles, right?
Yes,
And
it's beyond the predicted, measurement that you would predict from the.
great. But they say it's a mirage, right?
Yes.
Right. Now, Rob Skiba, God rest his soul, took a boat and recorded the entire trip from one side of the lake to the other.
Mm-hmm.
I'll stop him at the door.
Yeah. So.
So that pretty much debunks that idea.
I don't see how that changes refractive.
Well, because there's no change. There's nothing happening. There's no phenomena to observe. You just see Chicago, and then you sail to it, and then you're at Chicago. There's no difference in anything.
Yeah, I still don't see how that would change anything.
There's no point where the boat becomes an optical illusion.
You have a line of sight. That's why. Because as you move towards Chicago, you would have to see the real Chicago, and the mirage would have to disappear. And that didn't happen.
Yeah, I've never done it myself, so I wouldn't know.
Well, there's a video.
Okay.
So if you want to stop lying to yourself, you can watch that. Or again, you can go out there and look at a beach. I mean, it's quite ridiculous. Like when you do this in person, when you're in a Discord server, it's like, oh, let me try to find ways, because I know for damn sure it's a sphere. There's no way that these flat earthers, like, they got to be missing something, right? You go to the beach, you know for a fact that when you're looking at the water, 1.2 miles is not the furthest you can see if you're right at the water's edge and you're laying down with your hand propped up, with your head propped up in your hand, right? You're 1 foot above sea level, your eyeballs anyway. And we know for damn sure that the distance to the horizon is not 1.2 miles in that case.
Yep. And
like it's as a matter of fact, I can see New Jersey from Coney Island, which was over 6 miles. I could look directly at the shore.
Yeah, but again, you have no way
there's
of
supposed
predicting.
to be obstruction in between there. That's the point. It's the prediction is 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. So I'm 6 feet. There should have been obstruction or the horizon around 3 miles. There was no horizon.
And was there water between you and your object that you were looking at?
There's supposed to be water between. That's the point. The water is supposed to be obstructing what I'm looking at, and it wasn't.
And when you look over water, sometimes you get a mirage.
Yeah, and remember remember the Suez Canal, you don't get to do your refraction chant there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, well.
But you can't see from one end of
that's on Earth as well. That's on Earth also. That's you're really grasping at straws there.
Yeah, you can't see forever. I mean, everyone understands that,
Could you look at the video that I had posted? Can I post it again?
Everyone understands that, like, if you know what a crosswalk looks like, right? You know what a crosswalk looks like?
Yes, I do. Can we?
Right. So my point here.
Must she be a lunatic?
Yes.
My point here is that obviously, if you were to lay down on the ground at the crosswalk, you wouldn't be able to see the lines all the way across the street. Obviously, it's because of the angle. It's not because the ground is curving. Like, we know that these things are true. We know this. Like, I'm just describing to you what looks. You mean you're not sure about one end to another end of a street being? How about your bathroom and the tiles on the bathroom floor? If you to lay down, put your eyeballs like as close as you could to the bathroom floor, you wouldn't be able to count all the tiles. Why? Because you have a limited angle of view. I
Yeah,
know for damn sure you don't
I've
think
never
your
tried
back.
that myself.
You don't think your back.
I told you an hour ago that you need to enroll in a drawing 101 course. Perspective and these things will be covered.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
The way you guys describe perspective never
Prescriptive?
creates
How do you describe prescriptive?
Well, perspective.
Well, like I said, do a drawing 101 course, and your confusion will be cleared up.
Perspective on a flat plane ends at infinity. The horizon would be infinite.
No, perspective.
You are confused,
Your eyeballs. Perspective through your eyeballs has nothing to do with the ground. Whether the ground was curved or whether it was flat, you would still have.
Can we address my video that I posted?
Wow. Have you ever heard of vanishing points?
Yes.
Or do you still think you can see forever?
The vanishing point is at infinity.
Yes, but you said you could see. You said you could see forever. You said you could see infinity.
I never made
that. You said on a flat plane you'd be seeing forever. It would be infinity.
The horizon.
If the vanishing point would exist on a flat plane as well.
Yes.
Okay.
But that would be geometrically it would be at infinity. Optically, I don't know. Maybe some funny business happens at the horizon that distorts things to your.
It squints only so far, and then it squeezes to where you can no longer resolve the image. That's what the vanishing point.
Your problem is what you think the horizon is. That's your problem because you have no proof that the horizon is geometric or curved at all.
And you all haven't addressed the video that I posted beyond saying, "Oh, it's a logical fallacy."
He did.
Well,
He said it's a logical fallacy.
What else is beyond a logical fallacy other than false conclusions?
No, we haven't even talked about.
No, hold on, time out. Give me a scenario that uses an affirming the consequent fallacy that ends in a truthhood. Give me any scenario.
I'm not,
because you're saying beyond the affirming the consequent. Well, you are committing that fallacy. We can use your words in the form that you're using them to try to pass this off as some sort of evidence. No, it's not. It's a false conclusion.
Are you guys seriously doing the same thing though? When you're saying, "Oh, look at these oil rigs," you're making a claim you're saying it's a true claim of something based on an observation. This is literally an observation, and you guys are completely ignoring it. Yes, you are. You haven't said a single thing about the video except called it a fallacy and said you can't draw a conclusion based on a video. No.
So here's the thing. You're committing if P, then Q.
No, I'm not. Prove it. Actually say something about the video instead of just ignoring it and calling it a fallacy. That is the biggest cope I have ever heard.
Are you Rafit? Are you Rafit with the
I wasn't finished with the statement I was making.
Actually look at the video.
I'm going to have to mute you, actually, bro. I hope that you don't leave, like, out of fear, or maybe you're running out of gas. But you do still have to listen and have some sort of decorum, right? So now the bottom line is you're using if P then Q, Q therefore P. That's a logical fallacy. What we're using is if P then Q, not Q, therefore not P. That's not a logical fallacy. Big difference. If P, the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3,959 miles, then Q, every distance to the horizon, would be no more than 1.2 miles times the square root of the observer's height in feet. It's not that, therefore the Earth is not a sphere. That's not a logical fallacy. What you're saying is a logical fallacy. You don't even know what the horizon is. You're not even making a definitive claim about it. Not a definitive claim that, isn't already concluded before you've proven anything.
All right. Can we look at the video though?
Well, can you go back and ask that guy, the guy prior to thinking everything was an optical illusion? Can you ask that person to define horizon?
Is it that video with moon going over the horizon?
Yes.
And what?
Just let's make some observations about it. What is the moon doing?
And moon is going over the horizon. I see that.
Yes,
and what,
but where is it in relation to the observer?
It's in the sky.
Okay. And what is it doing? Is it getting closer?
And it's going down, 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 and then it's disappearing over the horizon.
How is it disappearing? Is it getting smaller and fading away?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know what is doing. What is
that's
doing?
the same question about street light.
Can you tell me in that when you look the moon, what is happening with the surface of the Earth?
Yeah. Are you telling me your proof is actually a question? And then you're just going to...
I'm not making any claims of proof. I hadn't said that it proves anything.
You just said what's happening. We don't know. You tell us.
When I observe the moon, it stays the same angular size as it travels through the sky. Okay? If I was born 10,000 years ago and I believed the Earth to be flat and I knew nothing, if I knew absolutely nothing about other cities or towns or something, like I'm a little villager 10,000 years ago. And
why is this relevant?
It absolutely is relevant. Let me.
It's not relevant.
I would believe.
It's not relevant because we know that the bodies in the sky, they don't act like, objects on the Earth. Like, for instance, the sun and the moon, like their angular size changes ever so slightly. It's not the same, like as if a person was walking away from me. We already know that to be true. So is the question why? I don't know. That's why I asked you.
I'm explaining this. My five senses. Absolutely.
Tehconda, let me ask
you're trying to stop me from making my point.
What's the moon doing? Is it going behind the curvature of the Earth?
That's what it looks like to me.
You don't
have a point. That's what it looks like to you, but how do you know that?
Yeah.
Because if I had no other prior knowledge, if all I did was make observations based on just what my eyes see, I would see the moon travel beneath the horizon. And if I had believed that the Earth was flat, I would think that the moon is traveling, I don't know, between the legs of some giant elephant.
If you had no prior knowledge,
from the other
where would you see curvature? Where would you see curvature if you had no prior knowledge? There are ancient religions. There are ancient religions that believe that the moon was going under the Earth.
Be patient. But the bottom line is the form that he just used just now is it's literally an argument from ignorance.
No, I'm making the argument that I can't
it's an argument from ignorance because you're saying I wouldn't know if X, 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 X. Who cares? You're not putting any definitive claim on the table. You're saying you're not making a claim. You're saying this isn't proof. So what are you saying?
Yeah, and Tehconda, you can't put yourself 10,000 years back there in good faith, because even if you did, that person you're putting back there still has embedded in his psyche the narrative of space and moon travel that he's seen and been seen on TV and presented through academia.
As in,
so that person back then, you would want to use your five senses, but TV would have to be the sixth.
You guys didn't even let me finish my point.
Well, okay, make your point again. I just addressed your point.
I would have believed that the Earth was flat if I was born 10,000 years ago. Okay? But the model that I would have come up with would have been very different than the flat Earth model that's presented
what
today.
Flat Earth model?
The one where the sun and the moon circle above the Earth in a big circle.
That's not a model.
We don't know what the sun is doing over the Earth.
I can tell you what it looks like it's doing.
Other than making an arc, but mathematically, those things don't line up either. Everyone knows that. It's not like you can triangulate the sun.
Because if I can watch it, I can track its path, and every hour it moves by 15 degrees, and it takes 24 hours, and it reaches about the exact same position.
Oh my
slightly different every day, but hey, I'm just telling you what it seems to do based on my optical observations using my own eyeballs.
You only have 180 degrees from where you're standing, so it doesn't really matter. So
Right.
what? It takes. You know how they know that it takes 15 degrees an hour.
Mhm.
You know how they know when you look at the math on paper, it's the Earth not moving, it's the sun moving.
Sure.
Elevation angles over a flat plane. So
Totally.
why do you say sure and go okay? Like I'm
Because
dealing with what you're saying.
that's exactly what I would have believed if I was alive 10,000 years ago, that the sun is moving and the Earth is still, and the Earth is flat,
That's
and
not
that
a belief. Hold on, that's not a belief. What do you mean? The sun moves across the sky.
Correct.
That's not a belief at all. What you
That would have
have
been
is
my observation, yes.
yeah, right. So it's not a belief. You're saying that's what I would have believed. No, they've used these observations to come up with something that you've yet to prove right now.
Yeah, tehconda. The belief is that the sun that moves across the sky is a 93 million distance star. That's what they've got you wrapped up in.
It's still a better workable model than the flat Earth that
Yeah,
you
keep
said.
chanting it. Maybe it's your lie. Tell it.
You don't even have a model.
But that's not true. The model, first of all,
You
what do you
admitted
mean?
you don't have a model.
There's no Earth model. Okay, but what we do use for models, especially for travel, is a celestial sphere model.
Sure.
Okay, and the celestial sphere model entails the sun going around a flat plane. Not that we're saying that's the model, but you're saying you have a globe. No, that's not true.
I don't know what to tell you. It's
Well, what I'm telling you is true. I mean, I could give you citations and everything. So what can you tell me? I'm just telling you measurements that we've made based on observations of what the sky is doing. Now you're telling us that, yeah, that's okay, but 1,000 years ago, if that's where we stopped, then we would believe that the Earth is flat. However, we now know that it's actually the Earth spinning away from the sun. Again, how the fuck do we know that?
It works.
Yeah, but working based off of elevation angles, which require a horizontal plane. That's what works, not a globe. They don't use a globe for anything.
I mean, they use it for Google Earth, okay? And
no, it doesn't.
How many times do you have to spin Google Earth around to get once around?
Wait. No, they don't. What do you mean they use it for Google Earth? No, Google Earth is a flat Earth. Is a flat tool.
Sure. Okay.
If you look up elevation profile, guess what? It's just going to show the changes in elevation relative to sea level. There's no drop off when you get the distance from one end to another point in Google Earth. It's just elevation changes across a plane.
I don't know what you mean, but what I was saying is
Google elevation profile for Google Earth, and you'll see what I'm saying.
I mean, every mountain, every hill, it's there, and it's country, continent, and all around it's sea level. That means.
all right. I don't know. It doesn't. Your what you guys say doesn't make any sense to me.
Well,
you said a swimming pool.
What we're saying is what we observe, and you're saying that doesn't make sense because it's not the conclusion that makes sense to you.
Correct.
But again,
no, because what I observe when the moon sets on the horizon, it looks like the moon is crashing into the Earth. But I know that's not true.
Brother.
It's what it looks like. If I used only my eyes, just looking at it just with my eyes, it sets on the horizon.
Crashing into the Earth.
So what does that mean?
So how far away is the moon?
We don't know. You don't know because in order to have the distance to the moon, you would have to use the measurement of the radius.
What is the moon?
What was your response to that?
That's not the only way to get the measurement to the distance to the moon.
No, that's how they did it.
That's how they did it, but we've got modern tools now. We can measure.
No, you don't have modern tools. You're going to say that there's a reflector in the moon. Like, first of all,
that's not what I'm going to say. That's actually not what I'm going to say. I don't have a laser powerful enough to bounce laser light off the moon, but with about $1,000, you can. No, because you can actually build a ham radio setup for about $1,200 or so. You can actually bounce ham radio signals off the moon. It's called Earth-Moon Earth communication. Have you ever heard of it?
Why didn't you start with this instead of your YouTube video you complained about for half an hour?
We were talking about the horizon. We hadn't even talked about the moon. I was just showing a
guess what you need. Guess what you need for those radio signals?
What do you need?
An elevation angle, which requires a horizontal, which you don't have on a sphere.
I'm not sure what you're getting at. I'm pretty sure you have.
Well, you probably don't know what an elevation angle is, which is why you haven't.
And it's also neat that you're supposedly bouncing, you're shooting something towards the moon through the ionosphere that usually would shoot them back and bounce them off. And then you're hitting a sphere, and then somehow that hitting that curved surface is still going to come directly back to
Not exactly. It loses quite a few decibels. That's not, you can't really do it.
Where is it going to come back to? We're not even in the same place we started from when I started this sentence. Where is it going to go back to? Where we were?
Beautiful point.
No, where you're headed. It goes.
No.
So do you lead it? Do you lead the radio signal like a wave?
No, you don't have to, but
like a hunter.
That's not how they do it, though. So you're just making stuff up.
No. Am I making stuff up? I'm not the one making stuff up.
I didn't make any. So tell me something that I've made up this entire time. What did I make up? With my word.
Sir Edward, you're hot micing.
Apologies.
Because you're making stuff up, but
I think you misunderstood me. You misunderstood. I wasn't saying you were making anything up either.
So then who's making stuff up? Because I said you're making
according to you, it's everyone who has ever done an Earth-Moon-Earth communication, moon bounce.
No, you're making stuff up because I told you what required for that communication, and you're like, yeah, well, whatever.
What's required is a solid moon, not some hologram or some dome. It's a solid moon that's very far away.
Did anyone here claim to know what the moon was?
I've heard it called a
Have we talked to this guy before?
No, you have not.
Well, let Mickey get in here. I see he just unmuted.
Hey, Eli, what's going on? Yeah,
welcome back, Mickey. Nice to hear your voice.
What's going on, Edward? Yeah, I don't know. I was interested in the conversation because I heard tehconda talking, and it just sparked my interest. I think that he sounds very knowledgeable on certain things, but I think he's bankrupt in the area of like a geometric consequent, which is kind of like what we should be like letting him understand that he doesn't know. So I'm just going to tell him right now, tehconda, you think that you understand that the Earth is a globe currently, right? With whatever findings you have.
It seems to fit the round Earth model better than the flat Earth model.
Oh, okay, but you're comparing it's a false dichotomy right now because there is no such thing as a round Earth model.
I've heard. That's what I've been told today.
tehconda, let me finish my sentence, bro. All right, so I was just going to say there's it's a false dichotomy because the round Earth model and the flat Earth model are both something that are just ideas that you came in here and pit against each other. There is no such thing. So let me just bring you to the place where you can actually, establish a foundation, right? Yes. So if you say that the Earth is a globe, has anybody in history ever established that as a true fact that we know for sure that you can tell me right now? Anybody in history? As far as okay, so if we're living on a ball, let me just back it up a little bit. Mm-hmm. If you have a shape like a sphere in your hand, right? That sphere in your hand could be measured with radius, diameter, circumference. You could tell me the size of that sphere, so on and so forth, right? That's pretty basic. It's a basic geometric shape, There's no qualms there, right? You could tell me from a point A on a sphere to a point B, there's an arc over, it's elevation change, there's drop over distance. That everything that would fit the bill of a sphere, right? That's pretty simple.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's take that same understanding and then scale up to the size of the Earth. Now, if we're going to do something to measure the Earth, what would be the best way for us to measure elevation change or drop over distance? What would we have to do to find that out? tehconda.
Well, I've come to learn that the horizon itself may be unreliable due to
let's not talk about the things that don't work. Let's talk about the things that do.
The things that work, in my
what
opinion,
works for measuring drop over distance?
By finding the circumference of the Earth.
No. That's begging the question. Let's not beg the question. Let's try to figure out, how do we know that the Earth has elevation change over distance, which would be the consequence of it being a sphere. So drop over distance. How can we do that? How do we find that out?
How? Do you know how?
Well, I'm asking you. Because if we're standing on a sphere, right? Like, that's the idea. We're on the ball, an oblate spheroid, because that's what they tell us, right?
That's what they
it's
say.
A bit chubbier at the middle. Well, so if that is the case, then how can we measure drop over distance? Because that would be the consequence of it being that geometric shape that they tell us we're standing on.
It would be. I mean, it depends how you want to measure it.
Directly. I want to measure it directly.
It's too big. You can't hold it in your hand. It's
too big. Well, I don't want to hold it in my hand. I want to measure it. Yeah. I want to measure the elevation change between point A to point B on any part of the surface of this Earth that is an oblate spheroid. Seems pretty reasonable, right? Pretty straightforward.
Elevation. It wouldn't be elevation. It would be
change.
Right.
You've got to put change on there.
Curvature.
Elevation change.
You mean curvature. Elevation change.
Surface. Well, the elevation of the
perfectly smooth.
Surface,
there wouldn't be no change in elevation.
But here's perfectly smooth. We're not talking about perfect. What we're talking about is, okay, the point A to point B over the distance of an arc.
Yes.
Right. Let's say you're standing on one part of that. Your point A, and the destination is point B. Between you and B, there's going to be an elevation change. Yes or no? Hello?
Yes, but
okay. All right.
So
how can we find
indirect? There's no good
indirect. No.
Measurement.
Why?
Because it's too big to literally grab a ruler and measure.
Big. So we're not going to grab a ruler. That's obviously redundant. Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Because you're asking for a direct measurement.
Yes. Why is it difficult for us to? Why would it be so difficult for us to measure a geometric shape?
Because it's too big. Directly? The most direct measurement would be to literally start from one point, travel due east, and until you get back to the same point.
No, we're not talking about going around and around. What we want to find out is the actual surface curvature measurement. That's the most important. Right. But you keep saying right, but you're not telling me how we're going to do that.
Because you can calculate a curvature.
We're not calculating, tehconda. We're not calculating. What we want to do is find out from point A to point B on any distance on the surface of the Earth how much drop there's going to be. See how easy that sounds? Why is it so difficult for you to tell me the method?
You can look for it using a theodolite, but
a theodolite.
Yes, a theodolite. It's a very
what is the maximum effective range of a theodolite?
You tell me.
You tell me. You're the one that brought it up. I didn't bring it up.
I don't think there's maximum range.
You don't think there's a maximum range. So the people that actually use that in their profession don't know that the tool has a maximum effective range that it can be used for. And outside of that, there's not going to be the tolerance that it should be useful for. The tool was not designed for measuring the curvature of the Earth, as in drop over distance. Measuring the horizon. So we're using a tool that's not meant for the thing that you want to use it for in out of its context. Don't you agree?
Yes, but
okay.
I'm part of the reason why I wouldn't even trust it is that the horizon, especially over water, is prone to having mirage and other.
Right. So once again, we're
issues.
using things. We're talking about things that are not useful. But what things are then to measure this drop over distance?
Why don't we design an instrument to do it?
Well, I don't know. You're the one that says that it's been measured thousand. Well, if I was a guy 10,000 years ago, and I'm like, well, what have we done so far? If we haven't done anything yet,
no, that wasn't any part of that.
Well, what have we done? I'm asking the question, tehconda. What have we done currently? Because we're so advanced, right?
Mm-hmm.
Surely somebody should have measured the drop over distance over point A to point B on any given surface on the
How
Earth.
would they do that?
Well, I'm asking you. That's not my claim. I'm standing here with the rest of the people in here who know observably, measurably, and practically used as a flat stationary plane. You, on the other hand, however, have the idea that the Earth is curving. And I'm trying to figure out, well, that's great. It's just a belief. It's a blind belief at that, but you haven't figured out that if it's actually been done or not. It's a foregone conclusion in your mind, tehconda. I think that is the, I'll give you a mulligan. I'll let you think about it and see if you can figure it out. But you have to also come to terms with the people in here. We're not just sitting here saying the Earth is flat like some 10,000-year-old caveman that you might have in your head.
Yeah.
We're actually asking the question, how is it possible that nobody's ever looked into the fact that there isn't any answer to the question, who has measured drop over distance? Like the most simplest basic form of actually figuring out how much elevation change there should be between point A to point B on any given surface, or any given distance on the surface of the Earth. So what I'm asking right now is that if it's your idea that the Earth is curving, well, surely it should be easily measured drop over distance. I mean,
I'm
my
not
goodness,
so easily measured when it's that long of a distance when you're talking about
I think that's
above water.
But isn't that coping though? Isn't that coping? You're just coping right now, and I don't think that's useful. I think what's useful is for us to figure out if it's ever been done, because the claim on the table right now is that it has been done. So our job is to research who has done that.
Back. Chase.
Old Haas, you're hot micing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm having a dog crisis.
Sorry.
We're trying to approach tehconda. We're trying to approach this in a way that gets you to engage with the critical thinking. Yes, I know that everybody comes from the position that you do, that everybody thinks the Earth is a globe, but we're now trying to figure out why that is the case, because we're not just taking it for granted anymore. We're actually looking into it.
No, I tried to explain why I think it's a globe,
but explanations are useless, tehconda.
Mm-hmm.
Explanations are useless if they're not backed by empirical evidence, and that we can verify, we can test, we can repeat the test, we can falsify it. But that has not been done with the drop over distance, directly measuring. And this is like the Achilles heel of your argument. So the Achilles heel is, oh, absolutely, because you haven't given me a sufficient answer yet. It sounds like you are struggling to give me the direct measurement of drop over distance.
tehconda, even on your giant paper balls, 3959 paper ball that you proposed, you acknowledged that you would go over the curvature if you sent your friend walking.
Yes,
you acknowledged that earlier.
That's correct.
Sure. So then that acknowledgement means that you do understand that the curvature on a sphere is the geometric consequent of that object. So the sphere itself would have the consequent of having drop over distance. For sure, 100%.
Yes, but
there wouldn't be any doubt in your mind.
We all agree that mirages exist.
We're not talking about mirages, though. We're talking about what is you're going. Yeah, but you're asking a question to us, tehconda. The question should actually be the burden of proof actually is on your shoulders. So you're asking us the question. We don't need to answer that. We know already. You, on the other hand, are in the dark about this. You need to come to grips with the idea that you don't know. And so once you come to that place, then you'll start to figure out, well, wait a minute, I always thought it was a globe, but now I don't. So my mind should actually engage with.
Yeah, if the first one didn't sound like a cope, that second one, tehconda, that you just pulled off, that was a cope. We all know that mirages exist.
Yeah, but we're not. Yeah. So we don't talk about mirages. We're actually talking about, okay, so there's things that could make things difficult, right? But so then what is the most effective way for us to measure this drop over distance on this ball that we're standing on?
I don't think anyone's ever actually measured it, but
Interesting.
You can measure the angle of shadows by.
But we're not doing why do we got to do stuff that doesn't give us the most effective way to do? Like, see, that's that right there. Whoever gave you that,
sure, measuring the horizon itself and looking for a drop on the horizon is the most effective means.
Why not?
Just said it. Mirages exist.
Okay, so because of mirages, okay, so if you form that, how would you form that in a logical statement? Because of mirages, we cannot measure the curvature of the Earth. The curvature of the Earth cannot be measured because of mirages. Right?
The position of the horizon is unreliable. The distance to the horizon.
Well, that's interesting.
Yes.
So we don't have drop over distance at any way, shape, or form. So anybody who's ever looked over the distance on the horizon cannot be trusted, is what you're saying, including somebody who thinks the Earth is a globe. Correct? You just sabotaged your whole argument in that one single statement.
I don't think
you know
you're
that,
listening. Right? I really don't think you're listening.
I am. I'm listening to you, but it sounds like you're sabotaging your own side just so that you can save face. Right now.
I'm saying that you cannot reliably measure the distance to the horizon.
Well, then you just sabotage. Right, you just sabotage your whole argument.
Is that my
completely
argument?
Sabotage.
I've never you.
Yeah.
You probably haven't even heard the reason I think.
Yeah, but you know, I don't care. I don't care if you're looking at the moon or the sun or anything, angles or shadows. What we have to figure out is that the Earth that we're standing on, once again, because I got to draw you back, because you actually kind of veer off left and right here, and I can see why you've been struggling. So we got to stay the course. We got to figure out why we cannot find the drop over distance on this Earth that we're on. This is most important, because if you're standing on a sphere, that's the only thing you need to be concerned about. That's it.
And
It's really the one and done, really. I mean,
you spent too much time white knighting during that Black Swan, those oil rigs presentations. You missed the whole point of those.
No, I get it.
No, you don't, because okay, well, is the 1.2 geometric horizon projected beyond the 9.4 oil rig in the Black Swan?
It's projected in front of.
What?
It's yes.
But he doesn't.
Okay, so, no, you don't. You're clueless.
It's all. So when he sees a Black Swan right now, he doesn't. He can't. There's no way. It's like listen. It's a mental.
Well, you joked about it 2 hours ago.
It's a spiritual block. He can't see that right now. So what he has to come to grips with is that he can't figure out how it's possible that he doesn't know that drop over distance cannot be realized right now. And I think because he's struggling, it's starting to become really evident to him that he doesn't have the answer to that, which should be answered by our supreme technology these days. We should have some kind of, contraption that tells us, apparatus or whatever that gives us that understanding clearly, and we don't even have that.
I know.
You went straight to a theodolite, which is like, it's so bad. Like, that's just something that we can't use that. There's no way.
Why can't you use it? It shows you a very level line.
Tehconda, the tool was not designed for Tehconda, the tool was not designed for that. And you know that. You're a smart guy. You know that tool wasn't designed for doing that. It was designed for what its intended use case was for.
Surveying.
Correct. That's what it's used for. And it has its tolerance
detecting
level.
Elevation. No, it's literally designed for detecting elevation.
I understand this, but only on a certain. It's got parameters, Tehconda. You can't say that theodolite that's being used by professionals these days they don't have to, that it has parameters that they work with, and inside of that parameters they can't go outside of that, and it's not useful for anything. You can't just take it and do whatever you want with it, like most of the anti-flat Earth group community is doing. It's got to be used for whatever it was designed for. That's for specifically what its use case was for.
I'm not so sure that doesn't.
I know, because it feels like you want to find another means to do something that tool doesn't apply for.
I think that tool is very sensitive at detecting elevation, or the opposite of elevation, declination, or whatever you call it.
Yes, but it's only listen, what it does on the land, which is topography. What it does when surveyors are using it. It's useful for a certain amount. For when they're shooting targets, It's only useful for a certain maximum distance, right?
Well, I'm not so sure about that.
Well, you need to be like that's brush up on that information before you actually start to think that it's useful. Because the people that do this as a profession, they would tell you straight out, you cannot use it for what these guys in the anti-flat Earth community are using it for. Okay, so
and what are they using it for?
They're trying to do the drop over distance, which you're saying is ineffective because of mirages.
It would be unreliable, but like I said,
yeah, exactly. You see how you sabotage yourself with you're saying you're speaking out two sides of your mouth right now. On the one hand, you're saying let's use a theodolite. On the other hand, you're saying we can't trust it because we got mirages. Which is it? Can we trust the theodolite or can we not trust it?
If there's a blatant mirage, then you know you can't trust
a blatant mirage. Where's the definition for blatant mirage, tehconda? Really, like, you're really
like if you see a boat on the horizon and it's hovering above the optical horizon. You've seen a mirage, right? You've seen the pictures where
boats. Listen, dude, why are you talking? Why are mirages like? Listen, forget mirages for now. Like you always go to this thing about mirages, and I don't know why. I think you're trying to. It's a coping mechanism. It's a coping mechanism for you because that's your out. I think. Well, we don't need to talk. Like I said, don't bring that up.
Okay,
just don't bring that up.
There are days in which the horizon looks crisp and clear, and
can we measure it then? When
that's
it's crisp and clear.
I've never done it myself. I can't honestly. I can't.
Now, well, who's done it, tehconda? If you're saying that you haven't done it, who's done it?
There have been people that have used theodolites.
Who?
I've got a link to one here.
Oh, wait, whoa. You just finished telling me that theodolites are not useful for that because of mirages.
No, I said if you know there's a mirage, then you know it's not useful. But I wouldn't use it as proof. Okay.
When you see a boat hovering,
so you're telling me this? You wouldn't use a theodolite for proof?
No, but it
okay. So all right. So we got to remember this
with the round Earth model when you do have a clear horizon.
Hold on. When you see a boat, hovering.
So you're saying on the one hand we can't use theodolites, but on the other hand it seems to comport for the globe Earth.
According to this guy, okay?
What guy?
Marine surveyor. The marine surveyor.
Okay, so marine surveyor is using a theodolite, but you just finished telling me that you can't use a theodolite because you have mirages. So you're going against what he's saying.
No,
correct?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I wouldn't consider it definitive proof. Okay, it's not. It's not
definitive. So the guy that's the marine surveyor guy that you're bringing up for evidence, it's not definitive. So what are we doing if it's not definitive? Why do you bring marine surveyor up if it's not definitive, tehconda?
It could just be one more piece of evidence that seems
one more piece. Yeah. Wait a minute. Are we making a puzzle out of the Earth? Like what's going on here? Do you see what's happening?
You're asking me to prove that there's a dip. I am being as honest as possible.
Yeah. What are you saying?
Now that I have seen, that there are situations in which you can see oil rigs 9 miles away when you shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Or that even better, the horizon's further than that potentially. That optically you can't trust what you see on the horizon.
So now, so basically what you're telling me is that when we see farther than we're supposed to, we can't trust that, is what you're saying. So basically anybody that sees farther and understands the Earth isn't curving with the set rate they tell us, we can't trust that because it's obviously a globe. Is that what you're saying?
Can you trust it when you do see that there's exactly the right amount of dip if you use a theodolite?
Hold on a second. The right amount of dip.
The amount.
tehconda, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the amount that is correct that would be calculated. Okay. Here, I'll just post you a video.
I don't want to see a video. I want to know why your understanding of whatever you're telling me right now makes any sense to you, because it sounds like it's this, two ideas are crashing into each other. On the one hand, you can use a theodolite. On the other hand, you're saying you can't trust it. And you're battling in your mind like, well, I think I said you can trust it. On the other hand, you're saying you can't. Like, I'm trying to figure out what can we, and then at the very end of the statement, you're telling me that it's like a giant puzzle that you're putting together.
Do you convert to convex earther on the days that you see a boat hover?
If I only trusted my eyes, then yeah, sure, why not? But I don't only trust my eyes.
Wow. You've lost the plot, haven't you, sir?
Yeah, he's that we can't engage that way, though, old house, because we'll lose him quickly. Like we can't do that. Like,
I've been talking to him for a couple hours. He's lost.
Obviously, tehconda, we haven't figured out how you can measure drop over distance. I'm going to bring it back to the point.
Sure. Drop over distance isn't the reason why I think the Earth is round.
Well, it's not that I don't care if you think the Earth is round because Captain Crunch told you. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, if there's no evidence behind it, then it doesn't work. So you can't say that. Well, I believe the Earth is a globe because Main Surveyor told me that it is. Who cares? There's no evidence to back it up. We can't falsify it. We can't verify it. We can't do anything with it. Obviously, to you, it's a puzzle piece. And we got a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle we're putting together. We need what? Come on, tehconda.
No,
it's ridiculous, bro. This is what it sounds like you're telling us. Like, we're on a wild goose chase, following you around with all this. All you got to do is go straight for the direct measurement of drop over distance. Go see who's done that. If anybody's done it, obviously we know there's no one that has. So you're going to be you're going to chase a ghost.
So that's exactly what I said before, that it might be more challenging than, just measure it. Well, how? How would you measure it?
Well, that's not our point. That's not even our problem. That's yours. Because if it's a globe and a geometric consequent is that it has radius, diameter, circumference.
Yeah.
Well, guess what, Mister? You got to. Yeah. Well, of course. But I mean, that's what I'm saying, though. If you think it's a globe, you would be able to measure it with its sphericity.
How would I be able to measure it?
If you're standing on a sphere, it would have drop over distance, tehconda.
Yes.
It's a sphere.
I measure that.
How would you measure? Listen, how would you measure drop over distance? Come on, let's get the critical thinking going. Put on your critical thinking hat, tehconda. You can do this, man. Like, if I wanted to find out, you stood a far distance away from me. How would I know how much drop over distance between you and me there would be? Think about it. Just use the old noodle. What would you use in your mind?
Well, I would try using a theodolite, but apparently you say that that's not intended for that purpose. Because it's a very sensitive instrument for detecting elevation.
For where its working parameters that it's useful for, not for using it in the context of like miles.
Because after miles, there are sometimes there's refractive distortion when you start
refractive distortion. I think you're just
mirages, refraction.
Okay, so there isn't any. So you're telling us right now there isn't any way that we can do it, not even with theodolites.
I'm telling you that you could try it with a theodolite and see what measurements you come up with.
Because
the optical illusion Earther wants us to drag a theodolite into a mountain.
You don't have the answer right now. You're saying theodolite, but you really don't mean it, because you're telling us that you can't see through the theodolite. That the curvature because of mirages. So now.
I'm saying that under certain circumstances, yes, it might not be precise, but generally you'll see that. Here's a
we can't trust it being reliable enough for us to use for that specific purpose.
Yeah,
right?
that's
it's
right.
not reliable.
Not for exact measurements. Not on days where there's mirage.
Can we toss that out? Let's figure out what.
No, I wouldn't toss it out entirely. I would test it first, because on a day where you see a sharp horizon where you don't think there's a mirage, you might test it and find out that it does comport with the round Earth model. You don't know until you test it.
Do you know that it comports? Do you know that it comports with the round Earth?
I've never tested it myself, but according to this guy, we're going in circles.
No, we're not. You are. I'm not. I know exactly where I'm at.
It's called a spiral.
The idea, you're actually trying to cope, but the point of it is, if you're talking about the round Earth model, and if I was to ask you right now, you would not be able to tell me what model you're speaking of. So present your model right now in the live stream voice text, tehconda. The round Earth model. The round Earth model.
The round Earth model I use is the one where I'm standing on a ball that has a circumference of about 25 miles.
Where is this model? I've never seen that model you're talking about.
The model's literally in my room. I have a globe. All right.
A globe is a model. No, a globe is not a model.
A globe is a model.
Have you seen the underside of that globe? It says not used for educational purposes, tehconda. Come on now.
Is that what it says?
That's what it says, bro. Listen, if you go to any store, you can look underneath it. On the bottom of it, it says this is not intended for educational purposes, tehconda.
Let me get my globe.
I don't know if yours probably already worn out because you've had it sitting there probably for a while, but they all say that mostly. Uh-huh.
So that's your special reason? It's like rosebud? I mean...
Are you astonished? He's probably going to be like, oh, shit.
I don't see
that's
that.
A secret
Anyway,
tell us about
Can I say only one, two
anyway,
sentences?
that's not the round Earth model, by the way, and there isn't one, by the way.
Can I say only two, three sentences?
Is it gonna take us away? Go ahead, Sasha.
No, two, three only. From that point of view, dear, how you say? What's your name? Sorry,
Tehconda.
Yeah. From that point of view, if I'm you and if I'm in room with the globe, of course then it's a globe. Then I will be on your side, because that's what we are speaking. It's outside. It's not in a room. That's the whole point. Because if we are speaking about your globe in your room, then for sure it's curving. I will be on your side, but not that. That what we are speaking is it's outside. It's reality. That
right.
You're talking about little
with my own eyes.
What you're keeping in your hands, it's not outside. That's only that, nothing else.
Yeah. So basically, he's just saying you have a toy. That's it. It's just a toy. It's not a representation of what the Earth is, because like I asked for you to present the model of the Earth and the globe, the round Earth model, like you said.
Yes.
There is no such animal that exists ever. So what I'm asking for is something that you can't provide. Otherwise, you'd be able to put it in live stream voice tech. Here it is. You don't have it. That globe is not what you're saying. Is that going to tell us drop over distance, elevation change on this Earth that we're standing on? Of course not. Is it going to give us information about anything? No. It's not even meant for educational purposes, which I told you, but you don't believe me. There's images of it in the live stream voice.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, anybody can print out a little sticker. Sure, why not?
Well, anybody. What do you think's printing it out? Your friendly governments of the world.
Okay, sure.
Well, what do you think? I'm not making these things. You think flat earthers are going to be putting stickers on the bottom?
Why would a government that's trying to convince everybody that the Earth is round put a sticker on a globe that says
Why are they trying to convince people it's round in the first place?
Are you seriously asking that question in this chat room?
Yes.
Tehconda, for real? Are you being serious? What? Listen, dude. Like, oh my goodness, you must be really in love with the globe for some reason. But check it out. Like, I've already.
I'm actually not.
Obviously, you are. You're a fanboy of like space. I bet you got a bunch of posters and rockets and stuff in your room. Listen, dude. Here's the issue. Like I said before, there's no elevation change, drop over distance measurement directly from any surface curvature point
and
on
that
the Earth.
Doesn't impact my opinion on whether or not the shape of the Earth.
Well, it should, because that's the consequence of the sphere. It's the consequence of it being an oblate spheroid would mean that if it doesn't have this drop over distance per the actual size that they tell us it is, then you cannot have the sphere that you think you live on. Obviously. But from your perspective right now, you're really staunch and you're dug in. I get that. But you got to do a little homework as to figuring out who's ever measured drop over distance on this Earth, ever. And we're not talking about main surveyor, because you just finished saying that's not reliable, so we can't use that. Or you can't use anything where you are going to invoke mirages. You can't do that. You find something that's reliable, drop over distance, elevation change from point A to point B over the distance of an arc, because that's what you would have to have over any two distances or any 2 points on any given distance, miles even. So
what?
I gotta ask him, what motivates him to be so dug in? What is the motivation?
I know, because he's coming from a point where he all he's gonna say is space, NASA, and all that stuff. So that's
Absolutely not. That's not what I'm going to say.
What's the main crux of what holds you to the globe?
How have you become so dug in on this?
Well, wait, hold on, dig into the and analyze his mind, but
yeah. Why don't you ask me some questions like that?
I don't care about that, because that's not the point. The point is you can't.
Okay.
Well, you acknowledge that you're dug in
we're swinging off a branch to another topic. So to kind of listen, I know we got to go right back to directly measuring the surface curvature, right? So we're not concerned about what you think you ate yesterday. I don't care about that. I want to know why you can't tell me why it's not possible to measure the curvature directly. You need to give me something. You can't just sit in here for hours on end without giving us something. Tell us why we can't do that directly.
I just can you be more specific? What
climb out of the hole?
You want me to be hyper specific once again?
Yes,
I said
what
drop
would
over
count
distance,
as
elevation change.
What would count? What would count as a measurement of that?
Anybody who's ever measured drop over distance, elevation change over point A to point B over the distance of an arc.
Right, but what would count?
What would count is exactly what I just told you. Point A
for
to
example,
point
the
B,
Suez Canal wouldn't
point
count.
A to point B, any point
Correct.
A to point B that we're going to measure, elevation change, drop over distance, that's what I'm asking for. I'm very specific. You want me to say it again? I can sing it to you if you want.
No.
Okay, then you understand what I'm talking about, right?
Would an angle count if I were to look across
No,
the horizon?
I'm asking.
There you
Why can't
go.
you just give? Because
it's too big.
You listen, dude. Would a furry stuffed dog count? Like, I don't care about other. Can you give me what I'm asking for specifically, tehconda?
I don't know what you're asking for.
Listen, dude, very carefully, right?
Yes.
If you're standing at point A and I'm standing at point B, right? Yes. On the surface of the earth, we're both of us at two opposite points, right? So we're going to be, in between us is an arc, right? A sagittal in between you and me, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Knowing that information, how can we measure the curvature of the earth directly? As in that curvature, that sagittal, that hump in between you and me. How can we figure that out directly? How do we know that's there directly? Go on.
I wouldn't know what you would accept.
Oh, you wouldn't know. Not
I don't know what you would accept as curvature.
I would accept the evidence of that actually being there, tehconda. That's what I would accept.
Would you accept if I had a laser that's powerful
I would accept.
enough?
No, you got to tell me what you would use and then how we would perform the method of figuring this out. Because obviously we live in the digital age, and there should be some contraption that should be able to do it, right?
Yes. If I were to try to measure it directly, if I were to design an experiment, I would take a laser, let's say.
This hasn't. What I'm saying is this hasn't been done yet. You're just going to hypothetically come up.
Yeah,
you're going to pull something out of a hat right now and say, "Hey, check this out." No, I'm talking about because we have to figure out over the history of people actually walking on top of the earth. Because you said this is what your statement was: 10,000 years ago, if I lived back then, I would look upon the earth and say it's flat. Okay, good for you. Good for you back then. Now, how do we figure that out from then till today? How do we know that today that it's between point A and point B? Like, use the example that I gave you. Point A to point B, that there's elevation change, there's drop over distance, there's a sagittal between there, there's a hump between us. How do we know that?
There's a variety of reasons, all of which you guys would dismiss. Of course.
Why are you struggling, tehconda? I just need you to tell me directly. See, this is the thing with you guys that come in here. You have to just realize there is no answer. It's mainly, listen, dude. It's mainly pride that you got, right? That's it. But you can save face, man. You just say, hey, you know what? I'll look into it, and I'll be good with that. But
no.
You're trying to figure out and reason with your mind that there is no answer here, dude. There really isn't.
There's a variety of ways that you could try to do this. I could stand on the shore, have a friend on a cruise ship, watch them sail away. I can watch the boat sink. I don't want to hear of the boat.
tehconda, slowly roll, bro. Slowly roll. I don't care about what you're proposing right now because it hasn't been done, sir.
Correct, and that's
Nobody
not the
has
reason
done it.
That's fine. I don't care that it's never been done.
I do because right now, the rest of the earth, the people that live on this earth, believe that it's been done. So I'm asking you to actually come to grips with this.
Maybe they do, or maybe they don't. But I don't believe it.
tehconda, remember, you told us you can't believe your eyes anyways. So why buy the cruise tickets?
And you guys have harped on this for like 30 minutes. I don't know.
I'm actually bringing you to a point, right? The point is it has not been done, and you're saying, "Well, let me figure something out hypothetically." And I'm telling you right now, I don't care for that because you're going to
because you're asking for hypotheticals that can be validated or proven true or not. You're asking for what's falsifiable.
I'm asking for what has been done, sir.
Okay.
In history, like anytime, because you said 10,000 years ago we didn't know, but now we do. Okay, fine, that's fine. How do we know that we measured the curvature of the Earth directly any time between then, 10,000 years ago, and now? Yes, go ahead.
From the surface of the Earth, that's very difficult.
So we can't do it. So we can't do it, is what you're saying. We can't do it. That's your answer. We can't do it.
I'm not saying we can't do it.
Then tell me how we can do it.
A minute ago, you said all you had to do was buy a cruise ticket.
Then tell me how we can do it.
Yeah, maybe.
Then tell me how we can do it.
Again, I started talking about a laser. You could try pointing a laser directly horizontal, or you can. I know.
Look in the chat.
Again. Yes.
So are you gonna deny the straight standard that is a laser?
No, not exactly. But on certain.
Okay, so what's the but then? You said, well, maybe we could use a laser
under certain conditions. Yes,
how about over a frozen lake? Over a frozen lake, over a calm lake, refraction is not going to play a role at nighttime, guy.
Sure. Then
okay, so look in the chat. Look in the chat.
I don't trust what other people have done. I trust my own observations with my own.
Main surveyor, basically, Eli. You trust main surveyor,
right? You don't trust your own observations.
Did I say? Why did you post then two? Why did you post then two things from other people if you don't believe?
Exactly. He sabotaged himself. You keep sabotaging yourself, tehconda. Do you know that?
And you forget that you told us that swimming pools are flat.
And you were saying like
one thing.
Why you
I posted two things. Yes. Can I answer your question?
Why you posted something and you don't believe your observation? Why you posted something from other people and you don't believe? Why you believe that?
I'll answer you. I can answer you if you stop talking. Yes, the first thing I posted was the moon setting on a horizon over a body of water, which I have observed with my own eyes. Yes.
Horizon.
Did you observe it, Theodolite?
I've observed it myself. No, I have not, and that's why I've said I can't. You guys have even said that I sabotage myself because I've said that it's
Why did you post that? Why did you post that?
It was you guys have asked the question of how would you detect curvature on the horizon, and I said maybe
only a little bit intellectually honest. Calm down. Everything it's all right. You can post whatever you want. We can.
Nobody asked that question. Nobody asked that question, right, Sasha? Because he just said, "How would you detect curvature on the horizon?" No one asked that.
You guys have asked me how do I know that
I'll give you $100 if I asked you.
Not you.
How you detect? Who did?
What I asked you?
Yes, you asked about the dip.
The sagittal, elevation change. Yeah,
elevation change.
But you don't. I didn't say horizon. I was saying from point A to point B. How are you going to do it? Yes. That's what I told you.
If point A is me and point B is the horizon, there should be some dip.
Did I say horizon? I said me and you, my example. That's what I was using, me and you.
Yeah, and how far away are you?
Well, we could be, 10 miles away.
10 miles away?
Mm-hmm.
11 miles.
Again, how would someone measure that?
With a laser.
Maybe with a laser. Maybe with a
why are you asking?
I've never
check this out. I know, but what I'm saying is, dude, check this out. Here's where we go. We're going back around to like how you're asking us these questions. We have the answers, obviously, but I'm saying you're asking us and you don't know. Isn't that telling? That should be telling for you anyway. That should be telling us you don't have the answer. You're asking us. You're asking flat Earth people, and you're somebody who thinks the Earth is a globe, and you're asking, well, how do we do it? It's like, dude, we can tell you.
He keeps asking the question, but whenever we defer him to the chat, he's like, I don't believe it. So how does that make sense? Why do you keep asking us how you would do something if we're showing you that you're asking us questions about things that have been done, and then Miggy is like, well, how do you do how do you prove what you believe? And you're like, well, you tell me.
Yeah.
The reason I asked that,
you need a flat earther to tell you how to measure the globe that you're claiming.
He's a funny guy.
Sounds like that's the end of that claim.
Basically, because you'll dismiss anything I say. I'm asking, what is your criteria?
Dude, you haven't prevent. Tehconda, I asked you for evidence.
You literally started coping about a theodolite's not meant for doing that. Yes,
dude, it's
meant for calculating elevation.
Dude, I already told you, and you even admitted yourself that tool is not used for that. Right? I'm going to ask you again. No. Let's get some honesty in what you're saying here, right? Let's get honesty here. Is the theodolite used for measuring drop over distance over the curvature of the Earth? Yes or no? Is that what the tool is designed for?
No, it was not designed.
Okay, thank you, Tehconda.
There's a million tools
how good that feels.
Use.
How good that feels. You're being honest.
I can find tools that you can use for things other than what they were originally intended to be used for.
What, you're gonna eat cereal with a hammer?
If I must.
Jeez Louise. Dude, check this out, man. You're not using your critical thinking skills, which is what I want you to engage with here. And so once you start to do that, you'll realize there isn't an answer for this question. And then
and do I need to answer that question?
Well, I'm telling you because it's unanswerable that you should actually be honest with yourself. You know what? Let me research this. I'll come right back.
In the most honest, what other globe earther is going to honestly say that maybe you can't quite measure that? Maybe it's never actually.
Yeah, I know, but you're telling me, well, check out Main Surveyor. Well, can't you use? I don't know. You talking about other. Let's use theodolites and like, dude, you already know now that there isn't an answer to this, right?
Sure.
Or do you know there's an answer? Because if you do know, then tell us. If not, just say I don't know.
I'll tell you, I'm not sure. Okay.
No, not sure. No, I'm not sure. Tehconda, I don't want to hear you say not sure. I want you to say I don't know. Be honest. I don't know.
Honest.
I don't know is the honest way. I'm not sure.
I know that people claim that they have measured.
No, I'm not going to accept that. I won't accept that.
Theodolite. I would want to do it myself.
Tehconda, stop talking. I'm not going to accept you saying that you're not sure. You have to be honest with yourself and you don't know. Because if you know, then tell me. If you don't know, then say I don't know. Be honest, Tehconda.
Okay, hang on. Can we just establish?
No, Tehconda, just answer my question. Either you know and tell me, or you don't and say I don't know. Just answer.
If I had an instrument that was designed,
just answer the question, sir. Answer the question. Either you know, then tell me how you know specifically. If you don't know, say I don't know. I don't have to repeat myself. Just answer the question.
I've already answered it a million times.
No, answer the question, please. Answer the question right now.
I wouldn't
answer the question. Tehconda.
I don't know. Sure, I don't know.
Thank you.
Why not?
I rest my case, Your Honor.
You guys have got me pretty much no closer to believing that the Earth is flat, though.
I don't have to. It's not my job. That's your job. Your understanding of the research of flat Earth needs to be your own journey. I'm not going to spoon feed you like a child. You need to take this upon your own self, sir, and actually figure it out. I rest easy at night. You, on the other hand, still don't know what's going on. So you need it's a quest, you know. So you got to get on this journey and figure it out.
What's got you so convinced?
Me? Because I understand that it's measured, it's actually observed, and it's
what's measured.
Listen, can I finish? Let me just finish telling you so that you can know, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's observed as flat, it's measured as flat, and it's practically used as flat. What do you mean what got me so convinced? That right there. That there isn't anything else but that what I just told you. Obviously. So now, like I said before, that's not my you could be like, well, what's got you so convinced? I know 100% without a doubt the Earth is not a globe and it's flat and stationary, just like God intended it to be. So,
could I ask how you know?
Yeah, didn't I just finish it? Okay, so the Earth is observed as flat, it's measured as flat, and it's practically used as flat. You want me to repeat that again? I don't want to.
Earlier you were saying how there's this how our technology is so supreme. How could
No,
we
you
not
don't have
measure?
to. No, that we don't really care. For the other gentleman, we don't really care about convincing you, but we've exposed you to everyone in this room and the audience that you're a pretender clown.
I am.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. We're not here to convince anybody. Yeah, we're here to expose frauds. Right? And then in turn, they will look into the subject themselves because there's a rooster in the hen house and he's retarded. Yeah, you get it? So we ain't in much convincing you, just exposing you.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you got it now?
Penny drop.
Yeah, sure, whatever. I don't know what you're talking about. I never used.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
I never
You're
used
retarded.
it. Oh, great.
Yeah,
now you're
you
ad
are.
hominem. Yeah, it's gonna be.
No, that's not an ad hominem. That's an assessment.
That's
What
an
is
ad
it? Let's check this out. What's an ad hominem fallacy?
You're calling me names as.
No, that's not an ad hominem fallacy. You don't even know that, you dumbass globetard.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Yeah, for fuck's sake, you're a fraud.
I'm a fraud.
Yeah.
So you don't know. So you don't know when you're using formological fallacies, and you don't even know what. You don't even know what the informological fallacies are either. Apparently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Because an ad hom is when you present an argument which you haven't, and instead of addressing that
Presented an argument, and you guys want to address it. Absolutely, that exact.
Can you let the
that's
gentleman
exactly.
finish? My
That
goodness,
is
you
exactly.
feel like you just want to spout off when he's in the middle of his sentence.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. So you would have to actually provide an argument, and instead of addressing it, I call you a retard. But you provided something, and I said, hey, that's affirming the consequent. And you said, well, let's look beyond that. And I was like, the only thing beyond an affirming the consequent fallacy is a fallacious conclusion. That wasn't an ad hom, was it?
Not what you said, but the other guy
Well, yeah.
doesn't address my arguments, and he just calls
other
me a
guy.
retard. Sure, yeah.
The other guy, you're an idiot. You don't know what an ad hom fallacy is. Your arguments were addressed.
No, they weren't.
No.
You literally, for like the last hour, have been asking me to prove that there's a dip. That's not been my argument. What?
You're the dip.
Oh, you're funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not what your sister said.
Jesus. Here.
Jesus.
Yeah.
He ain't going to help you here.
We're
Okay.
gonna watch a YouTube video of some
watch
guy
another
you
YouTube
don't even
video.
know is actually you sabotage yourself in this chat. You said we can't use theodolites because we can't trust the horizon because there's mirages. Well, we can't use it. Yep.
But
that's what you said.
What's
and
a
then on the
mirage?
other hand,
Hold on a second, Mayhem. Define a mirage right now.
A mirage is, well, if you're talking about the horizon, it's
Go
where you
Google that sumbitch real quick, right now.
No, I'm looking at a mirage on my screen
What
right
is
now.
it? Define it right now without looking it up. Go.
It's where you have the refractive index of the surface that you get basically an internal reflection within the
That's
same.
horse shit. You
What
don't
do
know
you
what
mean
refraction
it's
is.
bullshit? I know exactly what
Oh,
refraction.
do you? What's refraction? Define refraction with citation, please.
I don't. Do I need to cite it or do I not? You want me to
know.
Google it? I don't need to Google it. I know exactly what refraction.
So you're gonna make shit up.
Refraction deals with there's an N number for refraction. It deals with the amount that light bends. It's the amount that light bends through a clear medium.
So what?
Through a clear medium, light bends a different
Clear
amount.
medium. That's not
It deals with refraction. No, the index of refraction deals with the speed of light through a medium. Absolutely, that exactly is what it
Will
is.
you bet your life on it?
Yes, it deals with the speed of light through a medium. Yes.
Okay, here
And
we
if it-
go. Shut the fuck up. So, we got refraction cited at 27 minutes after the hour. Let's see if it marries up what your dumbass just said. From Britannica.com, Snell's law in optics, a relationship between the path taken by a ray of light crossing the boundary or surface. We didn't hear any of that shit out of your hole. Of separation between two contacting substances. Where's the two contacting substances in the Atmo?
That is not.
That's not what.
Okay, listen.
No,
You've shown Snell's law. You posted Snell's law. It deals.
Yeah, that's the law of refraction, you dipshit. From physics classroom. Refraction is the bending of a path of a light wave, light's not a wave, as it passes from one material to another material. Did you say that? I'm sorry, I missed the spot where you said that.
Refraction deals with the index of refraction of a medium.
Shut the fuck up. You didn't say these definitions. The refraction occurs at the boundary and is caused by a change in the speed of a light wave. You didn't say any of that. Upon crossing the boundary. The tendency of a ray of light that doesn't exist to bend one direction or another is dependent on whether a light wave, which light's not a wave, speeds up or slows down across the fucking boundary. You didn't say that shit. Did anyone hear him say that?
No.
Snell's law. Did anyone hear?
I said, what's refraction? Of course it's Snell's law, you fucking clown.
Snell's law details the...
Yeah, Snell's law is the law of refraction. See, in your alma mater wiki right here, Snell's law, also known as Snell-Descartes law, and the law of refraction. Yeah.
It's for calculating the angle between two interfaces. It is not. Yes, but that's not the definition of refraction. It is a law.
That's the fucking law of refraction, you moron.
Law of refraction. It's not the definition of.
Holy fuck! The law of refraction is the definition of it. Are you retarded?
My God.
Let's try something else. Let's start off at the basics. Your fucking ABCs. Can you do that? Come on, ABCs. We got to establish framework.
Okay.
You're a clown.
Can I post the actual definition of refraction?
You're a clown. This is the fucking definition. There's 3 of them in here. You want 12 more?
From Oxford, the fact of phenomenon of light, radio waves, etc., being deflected in passing obliquely through the interface between one medium and another.
No interface.
No interface. I'm sorry, you fucking clown. It says boundary or surface between two contacting substances. What do you mean no fucking interface? The fuck are you on, dude?
Yeah, you can demonstrate it. You just you know.
Oh, he highlighted through the interface.
No. When you demonstrate it, you put a straw in your glass of water.
Yes.
Like,
yeah,
okay.
But a glass of water is not. That is 2 interfaces. That is not.
Shut the fuck up. You don't know what the law of refraction is. You need 2 different isotropic media. It says it right here from your alma mater. Snell's law, also known as Snell-Descartes law, and the law of refraction, it's going to fucking define it for you, is a formula used to describe the relationship between the angles of incidence and refraction when referring to light or other waves, light's not a fucking wave, passing through a boundary between 2 different isotropic media. Such as, even gives you fucking examples, such as water, glass, or air. Where's the 2 different isotropic media in your fucking paradoxical atmosphere?
You 100% accurately described the law of...
Shut the fuck up. That's all for him. It's a law of refraction. That's not the definition. Fucking moron. You wouldn't know what refraction was if it climbed up your arse and started kicking footballs wrapped in jalapeno lace concertina wire.
Now I know where I've seen him. He's the guy that actually posts anti-flat Earth comments on all the posts like everywhere. Because I've noticed. I was like, tehconda. Why does that name sound familiar? I've seen his.
He's a fucking dipshit.
Yeah, I've seen his name posted up.
He's the American Jazzaconda, I guess.
Yeah, probably. That's interesting.
What else did you hit him with?
everything, the black
yeah.
swan, well, basically just the black swan.
Mirage and theodolite.
Okay, so first thing is you guys asked.
thing.
The
What
first thing you asked was what is a mirage, and then you asked me to define refraction. Okay.
No, that's not true. We Miggy, it's speaking with you like a 1 hour and asking you for a drop over distance, not mirages, not theodolites. Yeah, okay. And you didn't provide, and you don't know who measured, and we are 1 hour on that, and you spoke about mirage, not we. That's from listener.
Yeah, and I asked you. I even asked you, Tehconda. I said, "Do you know? Either give us detail of how you know, or say you don't know." And what did you do? You said, "I don't know." Fine. Is that what you want to hear? Yeah, it is. Thank you. Prosecution rest. We were done at that point. You're
no,
that's it.
Miggy. Now it's second question. He can go to the second one.
No, we were because his whole beef was that he knows that the Earth is a globe, and he was talking about
now.
watching the moon, and he was looking at shooting radio waves at the. I mean, he was just.
He said, "I don't know who measured." That means he don't know. He believes, all right, but second one maybe he knows.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the drain the main surveyor, drain the main line surveyor. Bring his dumb ass in.
So
fucking clown.
Really?
Yeah, really.
That guy's a train wreck. I don't even know why he posted.
Do you guys not see? Okay, first off,
see what?
Shut the fuck up. Tired of listening to your retarded ass. Fucking give your fucking philosophical take on shit. Start off with your ABCs like we asked.
Can we admit that it includes a medium of varying density?
No, it doesn't. You just read Snell's law. Do you got fucking textual pareidolia?
That's literally in the definition of refraction.
Yeah, it's literally. Go ahead and read the definition and show it.
It's right there. You guys have posted it multiple times.
It's right where? Go ahead and read it.
The fact of the phenomenon of light, radio
you
waves.
can't even say phenomenon, for fuck's sake. The fuck, dude?
Being deflected or passing oblique.
Fuck you.
Thermodynamics.
Yeah, he's a thermodynamics idiot.
Or through a medium of varying density.
No, it's not. That's not. Where does it say that in my definitions?
Of Snell's law, you didn't. Did you ask me to define Snell's law?
It's the law of refraction, you doofus. We're not going over this again.
Did you ask me to define the law?
I'm gonna go Texas flood on your dumb ass.
Did you ask me to define the law of refraction?
Fuck up.
Did you ask me to define?
Shut up. You're the dumbest person in here. Demonstrated. Shut the fuck up. Sit down and shut up. Let somebody else talk.
Hell no.
Yeah, you're a doofus. Well, let's try mirages. He's had enough time to go fucking figure out what a mirage is. What's a mirage?
Phenomenon which hide in the curvature.
What's a mirage?
A mirage deals with internal reflection.
That's not the definition of mirage, you dumb fuck.
I'm not looking up the definition of a mirage.
I asked you what the definition of mirage was.
Do I need to define it when I can literally see one on a...
I don't want an example. I want a definition, you fucking moron. Then we could go to the examples. Yeah, go Google.
Yes.
Google it.
Because you're only going to accept a...
I'm not, now you're going to divine the intents of a complete fucking stranger. Let me ask you a question. What's my favorite fucking color?
I'm going to answer you. An optical illusion caused by atmospheric conditions.
Atmosphere, that's a paradox.
Conditions, especially the appearance.
That's a paradox. Atmosphere is a paradox. Atmo means air. Air is a gas. Sphere is a shape. Gases have no inherent shape.
It's caused by the refraction.
Caused by the refraction, which you don't know of.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Atmosphere.
Yes.
Do you realize that's a paradox?
No.
You don't. I just explained it to you. Atmo means air. Air is a gas. Sphere is a shape. Gases have no fucking inherent shape.
They do when
they do. You would fail first grade intro to gas behavior. Literally. You want me to show you? Give me one moment. You fucking moron.
I thought that he will say they have a shape when they are in container.
We're gonna get his reaction to this because they do. He said gases, they do. Okay, here we go. Live stream voice text, 38 minutes after the hour. Remember what he said? Gases, they do have shape. Grade level from Christy Bodak, Southwestern University. I will use this lesson with a first grade fucking class. If an object is in a gaseous state of matter, it will not have a definite shape. You're a retard, sir. You would fail first grade intro to gas behavior.
Ad hominem.
Yep. Precisely. You're not addressing.
Yeah, I did it.
Man, I'm sarcastic in a super way. Better go out. Don't don't go to embarrass yourself more.
What are we gonna do here, Meggie? He's a retard.
Yeah, he's I think he gets his jollies out of being in the chat, being abused like this, I guess. I don't know. Because when I came in here, he was what, an hour in, 2 hours in?
Do you like being abused?
Oh, yes, I love it.
I knew it.
It shows. So
But
what are you gonna do?
You guys can't admit a
So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go back to first grade, start all over again?
admit one thing.
Start all over again at first grade? You just failed first grade. Everyone heard it. Everyone's seen it. That's in the chat and outside. Listen to the video. What the fuck you gonna do now?
Even if the Earth were a sphere, okay?
Fuck off. It's up to you, Meggie.
Nah, he permanently moved in his own head, so. I don't know. We don't have anything else on the docket. There was another guy in here, but he's scurried.
He's not as dumb as he looks.
Yeah, if only it were a sphere, maybe you'd have some proof of that.
I like how when I talk to these guys, they just keep sabotaging themselves one thing after the other.
Yep.
Just completely train wrecked his argument like 3 or 4 times while I was talking to him. It don't take much, really.
No, you just let him speak. No, they do have shape. Holy fucking shit. Anything else? Retard?
With the
appeal to main surveyor. What?
Anything else, retard?
Yes, you're not answering at all. You're.
Yeah, we're not answering. What are you in another forum talking to other people and then answering here?
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's obvious. You don't know what gas behavior is at a first grade level. I just exposed your ass. Mae West is in the corner blushing.
Idiot. You're such an idiot.
Yeah, right. That your sister doesn't seem to mind.
Use your brain.
Use your brain. You don't even have a fucking brain. You've been proven a retard here over and over and over again.
Fucking lost this argument 10 times over.
If you want to know, that was the real example of ad hominem, what you did it now. But good job.
Oh yeah, shut up.
Yeah, because
the Earth
shut up. If Earth was a sphere, every observable geometric horizon would be on 1.22 miles, and
No,
that's
it
the
wouldn't.
point. Oh, it wouldn't. That means that go there tomorrow in every school and tell kids and teachers to not teach this my kids because why are you teaching them this?
Holy shit! You just denied your own globe-tard geometry. What else is left?
Okay.
Okay.
Listen.
We ain't listening to your dumb ass. Fuck. Listen.
Yeah, look, his video didn't even have any evidence because the video is utilizing the quote unquote fact that the horizon is geometric. I mean, you're not being reasonable, brother.
No, he's retarded.
You should get main surveyor to come in here. I'd like to talk to that guy.
Yeah, we'll talk about angular size change with distance.
That's what this clown was on. That's what he was on earlier. When I came in here, he was talking about that. Well, the moon doesn't change angular size. Like, who gives a shit? Nobody cares.
Let's see if he can define that. Let's try that. Get your popcorn out. Define angular size.
Angular size deals with the angular subtense, how big an object appears basically on my retina.
Oh, really? Well, that's important. Is it its actual size?
No.
Then who gives a flying fuck? No, it's not its actual size.
He just easily threw that wrench in the machine, just like.
Does he know what a tri? Let's see. Let's try another one. Define a triangle.
Oh,
I'm not done with angular size.
No, we are.
We are.
We should just go to triangle. Define a triangle, Tehconda.
Yeah.
We're not done with angular.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, we are.
Triangle, go.
Why?
Why?
Because it destroys your entire worldview.
A triangle destroys.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, an elevation angle to be more precise.
How would you measure an elevation angle?
Yes,
with a sextant?
Is it accurate?
Pretty accurate.
How accurate?
How accurate? You're a fucking clown. Define an elevation angle.
An elevation angle would be the angle difference between the horizon and the geometric horizon.
You know somebody's struggling.
The fucking definition of an elevation angle.
Well, I mean, when we're talking about the horizon anyway.
Well, we're talking about the horizon anyway. That's not an elevation angle. I asked you to define it. You didn't fucking do it.
All right.
If this guy's their best, I wonder what's their worst.
Holy shit.
Okay. Well, will one of you actually answer one of my questions?
One of your retard questions.
Yes,
No.
exactly. One of my retard questions.
No, you fucking failed basic reasoning 60 level. We want to start off with the ABCs. We want to hear that shit. Let's start off the basics. Go ahead, ABCs.
Without singing the song. Don't sing the song.
Don't sing the song either. Say them.
You guys are fucked.
Say my name, bitch.
Say it.
You won't answer any of my questions because you're too stupid.
Too stupid. Well, your
Yep.
sister didn't seem to mind.
No.
We're too stupid. This fucking guy doesn't know what a triangle is. He doesn't know what refraction is. He thinks the definition of is not the law of refraction. That's not the definition of it. What else?
Angular size. You didn't know what that
Angular
was.
size. What the fuck else we got to talk about?
I don't know.
I think he wants to ask us how to measure his globe. I think he wants to ask us questions that he's supposed to be answering.
All right, let him ask a question. Let's see how dumb fuck it is.
And before he offers rockets to space.
Space. Outer space?
You guys can't
that's my prediction.
About
Oh, we'll answer your dumb
okay.
fuck question.
Answer one question.
Okay, we've got a question
What
from
is-
a retard. Go ahead.
What is the distance from the east coast of Australia to the?
Shut the fuck up.
Just when I
What
think you
am I?
couldn't say anything any dumber. And he
I don't
totally
know,
redeemed himself.
I don't know.
I could have swore he was going to ask, what if I can send one of you up to space?
What? Wouldn't I have to go to Australia and be in Australia? Dumbass.
Thought he was going to ask how to measure the globe that he's supposed to already have measured, because that's what he asked every other time.
Yeah.
Is that what I asked?
Yeah, he kept asking, how do you measure it? I don't know. That's what you're here to tell us about.
Too funny. Hey, we gotta. Hey,
if
Bo,
you
1
had a-
second. Hold on, Tehconda. Just
Yeah,
hold on. But we had somebody else chime in here. Somebody kind of white knighted for Tehconda, and I heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it was
Who's that?
average. I think it was average. Average, was that you?
Average moron. Go ahead. Come off mute.
It's the next shift because that's how tehconda began on a white night.
Come off.
Really?
Mute. Average.
What?
What? Yeah, we figured.
No, actually, what the fuck? Wait, what?
What the fuck?
So do you
What?
think that,
What?
Do you think that? Listen, do you think the Earth's a globe?
No.
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 Well, what's your position then on the topic of the server?
It's probably flat.
Probably flat.
Probably flat. I'm going towards flat.
So he
All
wasn't
right.
the white knighter.
No, he wasn't. I'll find you wherever you are.
Come out, wherever you are.
Yeah, we'll be clanking the bottles in our hands. Well, he'll surface in a minute.
It sounded like him now.
Was it? Okay. Yeah, we want you to skin that smoke wagon and see what happens. Are you gonna do something or stand there and bleed?
So you want to answer the question?
Fucking question. We haven't been to Australia. You
Oh,
don't measure
alright.
that son of a bitch.
Well, there's millions of people that live down there, and they'd probably notice if they took a road trip that the.
Have you asked them to go measure it for you then?
No, but wouldn't they have something to say about the distance if it didn't? If they took more
Can an
miles.
Australian speak up for and answer his question for him and tell him that you don't have time to drive across Australia for him?
Nobody's taking a road trip from one coast to the other, I guess. Okay.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? This is all moot. You crayon crunching clown. Celestial navigation kills your globetard
Why?
because they take elevation angles with sextants. As a globetard, you can't even admit a sextant's existence. Fucktard.
Yeah, I can admit
No,
there.
you didn't even. You don't know what an elevation angle is. Let's go over what an elevation angle is for the retard. See it 50 minutes after the hour. Elevation angle is the angle between the horizontal plane and the line of sight measured in the vertical plane. So our question to you is, how can you acquire an elevation angle from a curved adjacent?
Yeah, you're toast, man.
Oh.
You know it. Oh.
Yeah. Answer, please.
Sure. The horizontal is close enough.
No, it's not. That's bullshit. We're talking about right triangles. How can you acquire an elevation angle from a curved adjacent? That is the question.
Yeah, you have no problem calculating.
Yes, you do. Because you can't get an angle from a curve. In fact, a curved adjacent, if you say curved adjacent to like professional, like a mathematician in geometry, he's going to stop you immediately and tell you that's a fucking nonsense.
The curvature is very shallow.
Yeah, you're shallow. The curvature is 8 inches per mile squared. Fuckwit. It doesn't matter. Any amount of curvature along that adjacent, it's fucking over. You can't measure an elevation angle.
Okay, so tell me, what would the difference be if
What would the difference be between what?
On a round Earth versus a
Not measuring an angle and measuring an angle? Well, the difference would be measuring an angle. That's the difference. And the Earth, this round shit, that's a moronic statement because Round can be flat. They're not mutually exclusive. You want to start over?
Right. On a ball Earth, you could
On a ball Earth, you can do what?
You could still measure an angle. It just wouldn't be.
You can't measure an angle from a curved adjacent. You'd fail third grade geometry.
He sabotaged himself again, man. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go ahead. This is what we want you to do. We want you to pull up AutoCAD, and we want you to show everyone here in YouTube land and in this room. You pull up AutoCAD, make a fucking triangle on the sphere card, and then measure the angle. Go.
I don't have AutoCAD. I could use MS Paint though.
No, we don't want you to fucking paint by crayons. You'd munch them. Holy fucking shit, dude.
He said MS Paint.
MS Paint. I'll paint your dumb ass white. You're a fucking clown, man. You'd fail third grade geometry. You
gotta get this on.
Adjacent. Does he even know what an adjacent? What the fuck is an adjacent?
Huey, you gotta get him on Oakley's, man. He's gotta go on Oakley's. He's got you.
Yeah.
Tehconda, go to Oakley's channel tomorrow. Is he on tomorrow?
He should be.
Yeah, go to Oakley's channel tomorrow. Somebody drop Tehconda the link. This is too good. It's way too good. We gotta let Nathan get in on this because
I could do it. I could do it for him. I could have somebody that pulled up. I could have somebody that demonstrated it via AutoCAD if he wants to watch it.
AutoCAD's bullshit. Just use a sextant.
Now AutoCAD's bullshit.
I'm just saying. Listen, you could use a sextant on an Earth that's round or flat. What is the difference?
You're a fucking retard. No, you can't. I just posted it at 54 minutes after the hour. It's less than 1 minute.
AutoCAD's bullshit, but MS Paint is the way to go.
Yeah, right.
It just keeps getting better.
You're a fucking clown. Did we go over his science acumen yet?
I'm afraid to even go that direction. No, I haven't heard it.
We might as well go there because he's fucking failed geometry. Let's see if he can pass 5th grade general science. Tehconda, what is a scientific hypothesis?
A scientific hypothesis is usually described as a guess, right?
It's not.
A guess based on observation.
Wrong. Is that it?
A testable guess based on observation.
Testable guess. Pulling shit out of your ass. 101. You would fail. 5th grade fucking intro to natural science.
Sure, I didn't look up the definition. Whatever.
Oh shit.
What is this? Whatever. That don't matter. You can fly by the.
There we go. It is a supposed. It was a proposition explanation made on the basis of limited evidence. It's a starting point. One. Yep, it's a starting point for further investigation. Why not?
You did a Google one. Why not? Because you're a fucking clown and you just Googled it because they don't know their ass from a pipe wrench. That's why not.
How was what I said different?
Okay. How is what you said different from what? What an actual hypothesis is? We'll go over that for you. At 56 minutes after the hour from Colorado State, scientific hypothesis, a special kind of prediction. We didn't hear any prediction out of your fly trap. That forecasts how the independent variable will affect the dependent variable. Funny, none of that shit came out of your pie hole. From California State, Long Beach, a hypothesis states a presumed relationship between two variables. Again, nothing that you said. In a way that can be tested with empirical data. It may take the form of cause and effect statement or an if X then Y statement. The cause is called, here we go again. Something that you didn't say. The independent variable. The effect is called the dependent variable. Again, you didn't say that shit. You want me to go to the third one? Or are you exposed again like Mae West? Oh, what are you going to say? Oh, but that's what I did say. No, you fucking didn't.
I pretty much did, more or less.
Oh, see, that's what I figured.
Man.
You dumb fuck ass clown. You fail. Intro to 5th grade general science. You don't know what a scientific hypothesis is. Thanks. Anything else?
What shape would the air?
Your sister.
I know you're not going to say that.
This fucking guy says, what shape would the air? After he was already exposed that fucking air and gas has no inherent shape. His fucking question, what shape the air? Get the fuck out of here. You're done. You know, you would probably be a star over at Gem Panda server. Take your dumb ass over there. Because you're finished here. You tracking with me, Sunshine?
You keep muting me, so.
Yeah, because you're a dumb fuck. I'm trying to protect everyone so they won't get fucking moronicized by you. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still won't answer the question.
Fuck off. You're finished.
Maybe you should go draw it in MS Paint for him. You freaking clown, dude. Oh.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. Ooh, I see a lot of people boot scooted.
Yeah.
Some of them flat earthers. They're not as dumb as they look. Because you know I was going right after you, didn't you? Got that right. I put out the word, Miggy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I put out the word. I was after pretender clown flat earthers. That shit is on. It's on like Donkey Kong.
On like Donkey Kong, huh?
Yeah.
Let me ask Tehconda something.
Oh, God.
So, are you going to be there tomorrow at Oakley's, Tehconda? Can we trust that you'll make it there tomorrow?
Probably not.
Why?
I might have better stuff to do. If I just get muted all the time, then I probably.
Yourself.
You could actually bone up on MS Paint before you go there.
You asked me to draw something in AutoCAD. I don't have AutoCAD, so I said I could do it in MS Paint.
No, I said MS Paint. Take your MS Paint work over to Nathan Oakley's when you go there tomorrow.
If you want a simple triangle drawn, I can draw one in a minute.
You don't know what a triangle is. We already asked you to define it. You fucked it up. Remember? Hello? Remember?
Yeah.
You fucked it up.
Yeah,
Like
and you
fucked
guys...
everything else up. Shut the fuck up.
I think we got a new guy. All right, so let me see if this other guy's here. All right, we got Mr. Content. Mr. Content, are you there?
Mr. Content.
That's what his name is. Mr. Content, are you there?
Hopefully he's good content.
I don't know.
So far he's not providing.
I saw him light up. Try again, Mr. Content.
You got a mic?
Yeah, he's lighting up. Hey, you got a mic? I hear you breathing. That's you breathing, huh? He left. Oh, too funny.
All right, Mickey, go ahead. You could. Sorry to come in and guns a blazing. I'll go.
No,
ahead
I mean, some days you just have to blast away. Well, this guy he's a perfect target. I know. See, I knew I seen his name somewhere. And I was like, "What, Tehconda? Where the hell have I seen this before?" Yep. And this guy, he's on almost all the flat Earth videos and such, like you'll see his little freaking Batman avatar that he likes putting. He says stupid statements on the bottom of stuff. So he thinks he was trying to troll the flat Earth coming in here, but well, Mr.
He
Content.
already exposed it. He doesn't know what logical fallacies are. That means he doesn't know what logic is. He doesn't know what geometry is. He definitely doesn't know what refraction is, and he fucked up science. Natural science. What else is there? Like I said, let's start over. ABCs. I'm fucking serious.
Shut up.
Don't sing the song, though.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
Yes, you will. Or you'll be muted.
Oh, no, you're going to mute me.
Yeah, I am. Because you're a dumb fuck. Go ahead, Meggie. I'm going to take a little break, man. Maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking. I was thinking about talking to Content, but he scooted again. I don't know. I guess he didn't want to talk to us.
Somebody will try to reason with him and shit. When I leave, they'll take him off mute and try to reason with him.
What were you talking about? Angular size again? Can you tell me that again? What do you mean?
What's the distance of Australia?
All right, man. How would you figure the distance of Australia and unmute him? Oh, shit. There goes another hour.
I got a question for him. Hold on. I got a question for him. How much will order of ribs?
How about if you pour it in my hand?
Fuck the cup, pour it in my hand for a dime.
For a dime, yeah.
Oh, come on, man. Come on. Help a brother out. Give me a sip for 15 cents. All right, Meggie, I'm gonna take a break, man. I gotta feed the cat and shit. So
Nah, I gotta head out too, man. I gotta get going.
Oh, already?
Yeah, it was an early night for me.
Oh shit.
We got I don't know. Who else is in there? You got Flatsy Klein.
Yeah, she's a peach.
Yeah. All right. I gotta go.
All right, Maggie.
Yeah, have a good one. See ya, Kiwi.
Yeah, later, man.
Later, guys.
According to you, Jupiter currently is held together by gravity, right? I'm not asking that. I'm asking how did it form?
Okay, how would Jupiter form?
Yeah.
Before there were any two particles together, how did they start?
Yeah, in a vacuum.
In a vacuum.
That's something,
How is that possible?
that is something I would have to do some calculations for. I don't know.
I'm sure you will. You're going to have a mighty fallacious calculation for that one. You're right.
It's not about calculations, it's about just basic philosophy, right? So we know that gas doesn't coalesce into balls in a vacuum in demonstration, right? So then you're saying that this is necessary for Jupiter's formation, and there's no way that can't be demonstrated.
You would have to have. I mean, to demonstrate it, you would need enough gas the size of a planet, right?
Yeah. So what you're effectively admitting is that your claim is unfalsifiable, and then you're trying to put that on me.
Jupiter could have been snapped into existence by God. I don't know how it formed, and I can't prove that it formed.
Do you think I'm Christian?
I don't know if you're Christian or not.
Okay, because it seems like you're trying to imply that that's the only other explanation.
No, it's not the only other explanation. They say that the scientists say that gravity pulled, that much mass together collects into a ball, and that's how you form Jupiter.
Are you a Christian?
I'm not sure. No.
Oh, okay. Wait, do you actually?
Neither am I.
You actually think Jupiter is 11 times, like a tiny light in the sky from our perspective? You actually think it's? Well, how much bigger do you think Jupiter is? Don't Google it. Just be honest. How much bigger or smaller?
I can't tell. I can't tell just by looking at it, but with the telescope, you can actually see the moons, 4 Galilean moons circling Jupiter. You can see it from Earth.
Smaller than the Earth.
Okay.
So it's not just Jupiter, is it? Because obviously the sun is said to be a gas as well, right?
Correct.
So the sun, Jupiter, many other quote-unquote gas giants all coalesced in a vacuum, which has never ever been demonstrated to be possible.
Yeah.
Isn't that a bit of a problem for your worldview?
Supposedly the demonstration would be, if you go to an observatory with a big enough telescope, you can see nebula where stars are forming. That's what they say. But again, this doesn't have anything to do with the shape of the Earth in particular.
It's to do with the heliocentric conception of reality, right? So,
correct. And I don't have any reason to dispute that matter can't attract matter. It seems to make sense. I would have to do the math on it. How big is Jupiter? How much mass was the gravitational constant and all that? I don't. That's something I'd have to look up. It's not something I can tell off the top of my head. I don't know. I don't know.
This isn't a question of math. This is a question of philosophy, right? If it can't be demonstrated, then the maths is useless.
It's physics.
Well, no, it's not even physics. What he's talking, this is philosophy. It's before physics or maths. It's philosophy, right? We don't have a demonstration of gas coalescing into balls in a vacuum ever, right? No one can produce that. Yet we're being told that, if you look into the sky, that must have happened, bro. Believe me, bro. And then if you press further, they then point to other things in the sky and say, see, it's currently happening, bro, which is just a reassertion of the thing in contention in the first place.
It's just not something I could demonstrate in a lab. Like, I can't create a vacuum big enough to house a Jupiter-sized. It's the point is not something I would argue.
But that gas before it coalesces is going to take up a lot more volume.
It would take a lot more volume.
All spread out. I mean, massively. So how does that start?
Well, before we get off subject, sorry, God Rockin, just quickly before we get off subject. Yeah, before we get off this subject, can you at least admit that it's not me making an unreasonable question of you? It's that you have got an unfalsifiable claim and that I'm pointing it out. Because often what happens is when you say, can you demonstrate that? They go, oh, well, of course we can't, because it's either millions of years or it's too big. But then why, if you don't have a demonstration of it, are you asserting that it's even possible, right? That's
okay. I'm not saying that it's possible or impossible, that I'd still have to do the math on it, because we do know that gravity can go very far. If we are to believe the round Earth model, the moon is trapped by Earth's gravity, and the moon is supposedly hundreds of thousands of miles away, and the Earth is supposedly trapped in orbit around the sun's gravity, and the gravitational field is quite big, 93 million miles. So if you have enough matter, you can pull other matter towards you, as long as it's not moving at orbital speed. As long as the angular velocity doesn't exceed the gravitational pull, then the matter should coalesce. In theory, yes, you could potentially form a ball if you had a planet-sized worth, a Jupiter-sized worth of matter. I can't tell you exactly how long it would take to form. How much would be escaped into the vacuum of space, and how long it would take to pull that towards the center of the big ball that's starting to form. But I assume once it starts to form, as long as it's not spinning too fast, it should collect together. But again, I can't prove it. I can't prove it one way or the other. It just, I think it sounds plausible to me. I know it sounds crazy to you.
Well, your response to be about me saying that you've rebutted my questioning of your reassertion with another reassertion is to reassert it yet again. Right? You understand how this is just Groundhog Day. You're just reasserting the same thing in contention ad nauseum.
Also, you really think Jupiter is 11 times bigger than the Earth? I mean, the Earth as it is like massively.
Jupiter is bigger than that. I don't remember how big it is.
Well, you can Google it. It's claimed 11. I mean, just twice bigger than the Earth is already like huge, right? But it's not 3 times, 4 times, not 5 times, 11 times bigger. And then at the same time, you also think as massive as the Earth is, as it is, you think that 1 million size Earths can fit inside the, even though the sun looks like just a tiny light in the sky.
Yep, that's according to the model that says that the sun is 93 million miles away. Of course, that's the size of the sun at that angular substance and at that distance. That's what they worked it out to be. So,
just quickly, Andres, you're confusing diameter with volume, right? So they claim.
That's where I got confused.
Yeah. So they claim that Jupiter's got 11 times the diameter of Earth, but I've just looked it up here, 1,300 times the volume. So it would be 1,300 times as large. But regardless, I mean, that's completely unfalsifiable garbage. Anyway.
Yeah, it'd be very massive if it's up there, and if it's as far away as they say it is. But
again, we're talking about gas balls in vacuums, bro. Just switch your brain on, like
gas balls that if you buy a $300 telescope, you should be able to see it.
Yeah, we know what Jupiter is. We know that it's there. We're questioning whether it's a gas ball in a vacuum. Mm-hmm. Anyway, sorry, Godrockin wanted to bring up something, so please go ahead.
Oh, tehconda, does this...
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Wait, what?
We got a bunch of noise. Could you repeat it?
Yeah, Godrockin, do you want to make your point?
Does the sun and moon look up? All right.
Shoot.
Yeah, go on, Andres. I think Godrockin. Godrockin, you there, bro? Nah, I think he's hot micing.
God micing, dude.
Hot micing. Yeah, go on, Rebel Andrew.
tehconda, did you hear my question or no?
No, sorry, it got cut off, I think.
Okay. I was asking, do you think the sun and moon look like about the same size in the sky to you?
Yes.
Okay. So you think it just happens to be a coincidence that the reason the sun and moon look the same size in the sky, the sun is 400 times further away than the moon, and the moon is like 400 times smaller or something like that. I'm kind of forgetting the details, but yeah, you have to believe, even though the sun is like 400 times bigger than the moon, it only looks the same size because it also happens to be 400 times
further away.
Away. And I mean, you just think that it just happens to be like a cool coincidence of sorts.
Yeah, and I also have to believe that it's a pretty cool coincidence that the moon is, doesn't seem to show the other side. It's always showing the same side. It's kind of interesting. These are all, interesting observations.
You know what else is really interesting is they claim that the reason that life was created on this planet through evolution was because of our particular place in the universe, and so
right, liquid water, yeah,
and that's why and that's their special version of the creation story of humans here on Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. Are you an atheist by chance, tehconda?
Agnostic, pretty much.
I mean, what? Okay. What evidence were you expecting to see for a God that you deem is missing for you to be agnostic?
That's a good question.
And by the way, it doesn't necessarily have to get into religion or creation, but that's a pretty. extreme coincidence that this is the evolutionist claim is that we just happen to appear, in the Milky Way galaxy in a special position, and that's why evolution happened because of gravity and all that kind of shit,
And there you are, tehconda, assuming there's another side of the moon to see.
No, that's interesting. No, I've never seen it.
But tehconda, wouldn't you admit, if you just hypothetically speaking, right? If you were to be convinced you did see the scientific empirical evidence of a stationary flat Earth enclosed in some sort of containment, like a vaulted dome, referred to as a firmament, wouldn't that be very strong evidence that this universe was indeed created and put here by?
Yeah. It would be hard to explain scientifically. I can say it like that. If there was a dome above me, a firmament, then maybe, yes.
Well,
because I'd have a hard time explaining it.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, some of these other guys, maybe besides Creation Bear, would disagree with me. But I think earlier I asked you about the motive. If you ask me why would they lie, there's a lot of reasons, including money and hiding land and energy and stuff like that. But at the deepest level, I believe it's spiritual warfare. I believe it's the largest satanic deception in history to hide God from humanity, and specifically the God of Israel, which is the one who's revealed his legacy in the Bible. That's what I would say. And so you saying you're agnostic or even atheist at worst, you're unfortunately one of the victims of the space propaganda. So the deception has worked on you and people.
Okay, well, maybe. I still fail to see basic observations that would comport stronger with a flat Earth than a round Earth. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, do you feel yourself moving?
Exactly.
I feel myself moving as much as I should.
Observe and experience.
Okay, so how do you know? So what does that mean?
At my latitude, I don't think there's a significant difference between the amount of gravity I should feel spinning on a giant ball.
That sentence doesn't make any sense.
It does, because you can calculate the centripetal force based on the rotational speed, and we only spin once per day. It takes 24 hours to rotate the Earth. Even though I'm moving quickly, the angular velocity is actually pretty slow. The Earth would have to be spinning 13 times faster to launch things off the surface, and it's exponential. So it's I think it's only 1/3 of 1% at the equator when you actually do the calculations. And I did the calculations years ago when I actually bothered to do them. But yes, you can calculate the centripetal force, and things in theory should be 1/3 of 1% less. They should have less weight at the equator than at the North Pole.
So yes, none of that addressed anything that I said.
Right.
So I asked you, do you feel yourself moving?
Why would I feel myself moving?
Exactly, because you're not moving?
No, because I'm moving at a constant speed.
All right, let's count how many times he says calculate.
Come on, Julio, please. Can I just get to the end of this discussion?
Yeah, go ahead, brother. Sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sure you've heard it before.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, you're just kind of asserting unfalsifiable claims, right? So you're saying, well, I am moving, but I can't measure it and I can't feel it. And I can't measure it and I can't feel it because maths, right?
No, because
that doesn't make any sense. It's much simpler. And if you were to bear out, say, Occam's razor, you would just say, well, it's much simpler to just say, I'm not moving.
Right.
Without fewer assumptions. I don't feel like I'm moving because I'm not moving.
Mm-hmm. That would be the assumption.
So then the point is that if you then tell me no, shut up, it's not terrible logic. Then if you then tell me that you are moving, it's then down to you to prove it and not to dismiss that by saying mathematically it makes sense in your worldview.
Right. I would calculate it basically. I'm not sure how much I should feel like I'm moving. If I were moving at the speeds that the round Earth suggests, I've flown in an airplane. Like, I've moved at over 500 miles an hour. It doesn't feel like I'm moving at 500 miles an hour. And if I set my drink down on my drink stand in front of me, it doesn't slam into me at 500 miles an hour. It's traveling at a constant velocity. So
how is that analogous to what I said?
Because if I'm on a round Earth that's spinning, it's spinning at a constant speed. And unless it stops suddenly, I don't feel any motion. I'm moving at the same speed that I was before. Acceleration is what you feel, not speed.
Okay, again, so it's not analogous because we both know that the airplane is moving.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But so that's not in contention. Right. This is in contention. So we can prove that the airplane's moving. Can you prove that the Earth is moving without saying, oh, but you wouldn't feel it anyway?
Oh, I mean, I would...
Yeah, weight change with latitude crypto. We've had this conversation before.
Yeah, we've had this conversation before, but I'm not having this conversation with you. I'm having it with him.
Again, this is all stuff that it's... Even Einstein had said that you can't... There's no optical experiment that can prove that you are the one moving versus the one that's stationary, when you consider, relativity and reference frames.
Right, so again, we're just adding more unfalsifiable claims, right?
I get it, yes, of course.
You understand how this is like a common theme for the globe?
Suppose I'm in an airplane with all the windows shut and I can't see outside the airplane, and suppose there's no turbulence and I can't feel anything. How fast do I... How do I know how fast I'm moving, if I'm moving at all?
But it's not in contention whether the airplane's moving or not. No one's contending that.
That's just an analogy.
If I'm just sat in a cafe and not moving, I also don't feel like I'm moving, right? So I mean, the question is, which is it? And you're saying, well, in this one instance where no one questions whether the airplane's moving or not, it might appear this way.
But if I'm outside of the airplane and I can see that it's moving, then I can prove that it's moving. But you'd have to do some more work. You'd have to do some more work to prove that the Earth is moving. There's no optical...
Not analogous then.
Yeah, well, I guess
then you even said that Einstein admitted.
Yes.
Right, so then...
There's no...
You don't understand that your claim is unfalsifiable. Just admit that your claim is unfalsifiable. That's what you have to do.
My claim is unfalsifiable. Say the word.
Is the round Earth unfalsifiable?
No, we're talking about the movement of Earth, not
unfalsified, not unfalsifiable.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You got me kind of late at this hour. I'm really kind of tired.
I mean, it's 6 a.m. here, so I really shouldn't be up.
We have to wait till next time for this prized globe evidence.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I've got to
find out in episode 33.
That is correct, Ruhi.
I think this is really Aussie hours, so I might just leave it to the Aussies to duke out.
Great. Also, don't the star trails making perfect circular trails in the sky kind of debunk the heliocentric model on its face? Because allegedly, according to that model, there's so many different vectors of motion, like with the Earth's rotation, its revolution around the sun, and also at the same time in a wake going along with the sun, traveling nearly 500,000 miles per hour, and the entire Milky Way galaxy itself traveling 1.3 million miles per hour through space. Right, all these different vectors of motion. There's absolutely no way. It is an absolute impossibility where the stars at night, if you're doing long exposure astrophotography, to make these perfect circular trails, and at the same time have Polaris, the North Star, have been there since the beginning of time. We should have seen different stars 100 years ago.
I get you. Yeah, and I know. And people will say that the Earth also tilts the precession of the tilt of the Earth, that it's not always exactly at, 32 whatever degrees. And, I've never measured the stars in their position and checked to see if they're not drifting, but supposedly that they're millions of light years away, so you can't really do that. So
another unfalsifiable claim.
Yeah, it's unfalsifiable. I'm not using that claim to describe the shape of the Earth, but I would consider the Southern Cross to be more conforming to a round Earth model than anything that the flat Earth could explain.
No, that's not true. There's no equivalent. There's no equivalent of a North Star in the South Pole.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it is falsifiable. Their claim about the Southern Cross is falsifiable. There's no accurate observation the same way that it's claimed in the North. There's no such thing.
There's a clump of stars that seem to be near the middle of
Sigma Octantis, and for the most part, certain you can't.
Have you ever been down there? Have you ever been in?
No,
the
I haven't been. No, I haven't.
Have you?
No,
Neither have I. Nope.
Well, what are you saying then?
I'm saying that it's established by multiple people having had seen it.
Well, tehconda, just even think about how ridiculous the pun intended, like the astronomical distance, allegedly how far away these stars are. Just a single. Do you have any idea just how far a single 1 light year is? Any idea? Without Googling it. No, you don't, right? That's the answer. You have no idea, right?
It's unfathomable. I know it's something like 300.
Well, it's
10 to the 9th or something. 3 times 10 to the 9th.
9.72 trillion kilometers. That's just one. Okay, the average star is 4,000 light years away. That's 37.76 quadrillion kilometers away.
I mean, if they're that far away, it doesn't matter how fast we're moving. They're not going to look like they're moving.
No. That's the thing, though, right? Because this is the point you're missing. Just the simple inverse square law of light would deem those stars and its light completely impossible to see. Not only could we see a dim light, it wouldn't be possible at all from that far away, which is unfathomable. You're right. I think that's like the first
who cares?
Coherent thing you said.
It's absolutely true, Reb. That's absolutely true. You wouldn't be able to see it.
You wouldn't be able to see it. Not even. I mean, and when you look at the sky at night, I mean, they're just the way they. Some of them like twinkle with like different kind of like colors and this kind of pattern and stuff. I mean, they look like they're right there. Like there's
we're going off into the land of the land of unverifiable.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's just like their claims are absolutely. Their claims about distance. There's multiple trillions of light years and all that kind of shit. Yes. No, but it is preposterous. So Timbo. Now, I've heard people in Australia, and I think I've heard you say that you've seen Sigma Octantis.
No, not seen it. You can't see it.
Tags! What is your profession?
See, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.